it just didn't matter. Yeah. Right, so doing something a bit differently today. There's a popular streamer by the name of MoiDawg. I assume that's how you say it. And he asked on the Eugen Discord for some coaching, so I thought that I would introduce myself as the world #1 Warno player. I got a plan here, plan of action. I guess you can't see it. So we're going to be doing some coaching, we're going to teach him, and basically, I'm going to introduce myself as a world #1 Warno player, also very, very intelligent Warno player. First I need to figure out like what problems he's been having with the game, why he was asking for coaching. I saw a 10v10 stream of his, and some of the problems were pretty obvious. Basically couldn't see anything, which is literally Warno 101. So that's not his fault. There were some things which he could improve, which we can help him with. So his artillery was getting counter batteried, stuff like that. So I'm going to talk to him about all the different playstyles Warno allows for. You can be an armored division, you can be an easy division, and then I'm going to try and gently lead him into just playing 82nd Airborne, because he said he wants to get into ranked, and frankly the Airborne strategy is just so much easier than anything else in this game, because you can't see anything, and 82nd is the most broken Airborne division. So we're going to convince him to play... Well, we're going to ask him what he likes doing, and we're going to gently nudge him in the direction of 82nd Airborne. So I'll show him the deck. I'll just give him my 82nd Airborne deck. Hopefully that's still here. Yeah, that's basically normal. We could make some small changes, but I think that's reasonable. And then... he said that so he needs to try 1v1s, and if he tries it versus me, that's not going to make much sense because I played the game a lot, he doesn't. And if he goes ranked, because he's a popular streamer, he's going to get obliterated by some sniper. So hopefully we can set up a game with somebody that he knows, like one of his chat people or whatever, and I'll basically just backseat him for the next 40 minutes. And he's playing 82nd Airborne, he should win, right? And then I look good, he gets to enjoy the game, and, I'm basically just really smart. I'm basically really, really, really smart. My genius, honestly, I'm just such a smart player. I mean, this is the first time I've coached anybody, and this is just such a flawless plan. I just get him to play this div, right? And then I just tell him where to deploy, and then he just does the standard Airborne thing, just sit on your backside for 40 minutes while doing shenanigans and buying ATGMs everywhere. And then he just can't lose. He can't lose. I don't see what could go wrong here. We'll have to do a cut because, I don't know when he's going to call me. Should be in a couple of minutes, but we'll see. So, yeah, I play a lot of Warno, and I figured what we could do is basically the start is... So I watched your 10v10 game, or your last 10v10 stream. I believe it was 7 days ago. You were playing 39Y. And so I've got an idea of some of the things that you're uncomfortable with in the game. But if you could, just tell me what you think about the game, like where do you see the problems, where do you want to try and get better, and then we can try and find some common ground.
Yeah, so first off, I understand the idea behind, I guess, vision and recon and stuff, and everyone's always, harping on you need recon. So yeah. I understand the importance of that, and having, if you have eyes on the enemy, that's going to help your guys immensely. You're also not going to walk into stuff that gets you just absolutely smoked. Yeah. I guess the biggest problem that I've noticed is my recon will always die. The enemy's recon will never die. I can't ever take out the enemy helicopters that are reconning. And in an infantry on infantry fight, I seem to always lose. And then the biggest thing that's always been an annoyance is it always seems like the ATGMs from the enemy will always one-shot my vehicle. Yeah. My ATGM teams will never find the target, or even if they see the target, they never work. So that's kind of my top 5, I guess, comments.
Yeah, fair enough. So first, to talk about the recon. this is a problem with the game. Like, you've picked up on a problem that most people agree is a problem with the game, where essentially...
So it isn't me, it's the game's fault, right? That's what you're trying to say?
Essentially, yeah. So I also struggle with recon, and I've got 1,700 hours in this game, right? Basically, units struggle to see things, and as you've correctly pointed out, obviously you send your recon in, and it gets eviscerated, and then the units immediately disappear again. So that is a problem with the game. What I saw from your stream, because you said you struggle to kill the helicopters and your ATGMs feel very weak. So in the game, I don't know if... 'cause I'm currently watching like an ad, so I don't know like if you could open up the armory and then...
let me stream just to Discord since I can't be easier for you.
Cool. Just don't want to burn down your PC.
I got it. I also dual PC setup for the stream. So
nice one.
Let me see.
Yeah, great. That's perfect. So if you could back out and just go into the armory. So you were playing 39Y, right? So if you type in the top left, there's a search box. You can type in IGLA, ILGLA, and that first unit there, if you just click that, and in the top right, you'll see a pin icon. To the right where it says IGLA, yeah, so you can just click that, and it'll go black. And then you type in Stinger in the top left, and hover over Stinger. So basically, most helicopters in the game have 10 HP. And the problem you have when you play as the division you were playing, 39Y, is that your manpads do 4 damage. So that means that you need 3 shots to kill, whereas the enemy brings Stingers, superior American weaponry, that deals 5 damage, which means it only needs 2 shots to kill. You'll also see that it has more accuracy. So the point I'm getting at, there's the helicopter thing. You also said that your ATGMs feel weaker than the enemies. So if you could go into the top right and type in Conkers, Konk, and then you'll see some infantry teams in yellow. So yeah, just click that one for me, and then you pin it again. And then if you type in TOW in the top left, and look at you look at the TOW 2, you'll see that essentially the TOW 2, or the TOW 2 is more expensive, but it's better. It does more damage. Basically, right now there's a bit of a problem with the game where NATO is just better than Pact.
It's even more accurate.
Yeah, so it's more accurate, it does more damage, and you'll see that it also does about twice as much suppression, so it immediately routes your units. It also...
Okay, that makes sense, because I feel like I would get shot and my guys are just stuck around doing nothing, whereas I shoot them and they just continue on with whatever they were doing before.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look in the bottom left, you'll also see it says Strength 3. That means it has 3 hit points, whereas yours only has 2. So the thing I'm trying to steer you towards is basically there's a bit of a problem in the game right now that some divisions are better than others. And generally, the blue team, NATO's divisions, are stronger than Pact's divisions, Warsaw Pact. So you were playing as a weaker div, and that's part of the reason why you were getting beaten up by ATGMs and so on. Something else I heard your teammate point out, he said something like one of his infantry is like 5 of my infantry. That's true. So if you go in the top left...
What do we do, Hip? How could I play red 4? Is it impossible?
Well, okay, so for 1v1 you can play anything, right? But if the plan is to play red 4, we can work around that. But I would highly...
The question, before we get into the specifics of like finding a div that you like and stuff like that, so am I wrong in thinking this is almost like a rock, paper, scissors, and if you go in without knowing what the other person has, they just might have rock and you have scissors and you're screwed for 40 minutes?
For 1v1, it can be like that, yeah. There are more general divisions there are stronger divisions and weaker divisions, and in some matchups, yeah, you can be like fully countered by an enemy division. In 10v10, it's not so much of a big deal because you've got 9 friends, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, generally NATO is easier to play than Pact. Pact does have some advantages, namely, you'll have noticed that your TATBVs had ATGMs on them, which means that they outrange the enemy tanks. So in 10v10, you can get into, because there tends to be these big open fields, you can get into situations where your blob of tanks can shoot the enemy blob of tanks before he shoots you because you outrange him. But generally, for 1v1, NATO's stronger.
Okay.
And so quite a lot of the problems you were running into were just sort of valid complaints about the game.
This makes me want to learn how to play Pact though, because I'm a masochist. Is that can I still be successful, or do you recommend playing NATO first to learn?
I would recommend playing NATO first to learn. If you really like, I appreciate that, you know, you got to keep people entertained, and of course you want to be entertained. You don't want to get bored to death. So if you want to play Pact, we can go for it. But you would have an easier time learning the game if you started off with a NATO division.
If there is a Pact division that you could maybe recommend for a little bit more help in certain areas, would that be possible too?
Yeah. So
it's like I understand. I guess the biggest. I mean, yeah, I might lose maybe 1v1s, or I might lose a certain, you know, where a unit runs into another unit. But I guess the fundamentals of Warno would still be applied on either one. So at that point, maybe it's just understanding. It also seems like there's so much in the game that if you don't know the specific unit on unit match, you just might be screwed just because you haven't experienced it yet.
The second part's true. The first part, so yeah, you can. So it depends what you want. If you want to play, so there's certain pack divs which are good in team games, and there's certain pack divs which would give you an advantage in 1v1. So do you want to focus more on the team games or more on the 1v1?
I mean, it would be good to learn 1v1, so that way I know I can kind of hold my own.
Sure. So you're dead set on Pact. I mean, we can do it. It's just you're making life a little bit more difficult for yourself than it otherwise would be.
A story of my life. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, sounds good to me. Just give me a second.
I'm gonna put your coaching skills to test there. Can you make a new player good with Pact?
Right. So we've been BTFO'd, guys. Yeah, I'll do my best. So I don't know what to do now. Honestly. So yeah, we can do it.
So should I tell you also? Would it help if I kind of explain what I liked about the game, the kind of type of playstyles I did like or didn't like? Would that
yeah. That would be a good place to start. Yeah, and then we can pick a division for you.
So I did like the whole. In any game, I like artillery, and having the ability to use artillery for just everything from like the suppression to actually destruction and smoke concealment. Using that with a little bit of micro with like IFVs supported by infantry was cool. I do like the idea of the micro game. I just obviously don't know it too much yet.
Yeah,
that's really like if I just do all and then right click blobs. I mean, I do that, but I do like being able to have a couple, you know, bigger units that maybe I can micro and really have success with that. But having, you know, the IFV supported stuff was really cool. I know there were a couple times where I went in with, you know, a BMP3 and infantry, and it actually seemed out pretty, you know, effective and stuff like that. Whereas then you have your behind the line, you had maybe a tank or something a little further off offering support. So that kind of stuff was cool. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So there are lots of divisions that do that. Pact, as you pointed out, so the artillery on the Pact side is better. It's one of their advantages is that you get the Grad rocket launchers, you know, the Katusha things. They're really strong. So we can build around that. Basically, so you get these heavy divisions with the super big tanks, and then you tend to get the lighter divisions. The thing with 1v1 is that well, it applies to most of the game. As you pointed out, you can't see anything. So in 1v1, there are some divisions which start with airborne units, and these airborne units start further forwards. That means that they get to the good positions first. In 1v1, the maps are smaller, and it tends to be that you can get into a good position, and then because you can't see anything in this game, you can really hold that advantage over your opponent's head, and he will struggle to attack into you for the rest of the game as you get points because you essentially started in the middle zone.
Gotcha,
so
yeah.
a lot of 1v1 is about that. In 10v10, it's a bit different because 10v10's got that whole, the nail that stands up gets whacked with the hammer thing. If you start pushing too fast, the 10 players on the enemy team all send their artillery to beat you up. But yeah, 1v1's a bit different. So do you have the DLC for the game?
I don't know. Let me see.
Right, so the division I want to recommend you, if you go to battle groups at the bottom there.
It's pay to win? Hippie, you're telling me this is pay to win game?
I mean,
you're telling me this is pay to win. This is like buying bushes on my tanks in War Thunder. I'm buying.
It's not that bad. It's just the specific playstyle that you've identified is a DLC division, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, so I probably don't. What DLC are you suggesting?
So if you go to create battle group, on the packed side there should be one called 56-YA. And if there is, you have the DLC, and if there isn't, you do not. And we can work around that.
Should be one called what?
56-YA. And then a bunch of Russian after it.
What's the DLC for it? What's it called?
Nemesis Air Assault.
Oh, that's like $5. Yeah, give me a second.
Oh yeah, I mean that works as well. We can do something else.
It's a tax write-off. Okay, I got it. Give me a second.
Great, that works for me.
All right, I'll get it.
Right, so he's buying the DLC.
Right,
I've been absolutely...
Nemesis #1 Air Assault?
That's correct, yeah. The alternative would be which is free, or at least you've already paid for it, is the thing that your guy, Faubel25, is pointing out in the chat. Is called 4th Mordschützen, and it's an East German division.
Okay. Well, give me a second. We'll do what you recommended.
Great. So I don't know, man. I mean, he's picked hard mode, and I guess I'm just not a genius. I don't know how this happened. He's American, so I just thought, America? He'll want to play an American div. He wants to play Pact? I mean...
Give me 1 second.
So 56Y is something... because it gets the tanks, the artillery, the IFE, and a small forward deployed component. Otherwise, we've got him on 4th Mordschützen, because he needs forward deployed, because it's just so much easier than doing it the other way around. 4th Mordschützen, but then he doesn't have the tanks, and he'll be like, my T-55s are bad, and that's right. And the other and no IFEs, right? BMP-1 doesn't count. And the alternative is 119Y, which is like hard mode, lose the game kind of thing. So, yeah, we're suffering. We're suffering a lot here. But hey, that's...
Let me install it real quick. When you install it, does it just unlock it?
It should just unlock it. You might have to restart your game. Basically, you would go to battle groups, and that 56Y should be directly under the one called 35Y. It's the one with the longest name. So okay. It's reasonably easy to find.
Just restart Steam real quick.
But yeah, great bloke. I mean, I appreciate that he wants to keep his fans entertained, and so he doesn't want to do easy mode. But my whole
so what's your favorite pack division? How do you like to play?
My favorite pack division. So It's a good question. I play a lot of this one that I'm about to show you, 56Y. I also play the one that your guy in chat pointed out, Faubel, 4th Mordschützen Division, so those are East Germans. And then I also play a lot of really uncompetitive ones. So there's this one called Berliner Grupperung, and
Okay.
it's like super hard mode, but I have a lot of fun with it because nobody plays it. So
Yeah, there's fun to that.
yeah. So those are the ones I prefer. Generally, you'll see most people playing NATO, essentially for the reasons I described, and also because the game has a larger Western audience. So you tend to see that. So yeah, if you press create there, you should see the
56. Yeah, og official.
yeah. So everybody just calls them VDV. If you've heard about them, they're these
Yeah,
guys
the
are
air
like the
assault.
yeah, these guys are the prototype VDV division. To give you some history about the division, when the Soviets went into Afghanistan, these were the guys. So the division's really funny in that it gets a lot of funny transports. So if you just click on like, well, you would have to click create, and then you'd have to make your own. So yeah, if you click on that, you'd see that if you go to the inf tab, and if you click on some of these units, you'll see that so the Saperi Reese unit, if you click on that, you'll see that it gets a transport option, which is a BTR with some napalm launchers glued onto it. So it's the one on the far right. It's called BTR-70 Reese. So that's a pretty novel concept. Also, if you click on the top infantry unit called Okrana, they get a transport called the Metler, and it's
Oh, hell
essentially
yeah.
like a jerry-rigged. It's like something out of Warhammer 40k. It's a
That's
truck,
sick.
and this is a real vehicle. There are pictures of this, so they really put the time to put these into the game. So this is basically these guys saw real combat and they started modifying their vehicles, and a lot of those have ended up in the game. So it's
That's
really
cool.
interesting division. Also, if you look at the DSH Saperi, not the Reese one, they've got some options that have rocket launchers from helicopters and planes stuck to the top of their
Yeah.
units. So it's a pretty funny division. So what I was thinking is I could give you my division, and then we could go through it tab by tab, and I'll explain what everything does,
Okay.
and then we'll find like a willing volunteer to play against you. So let me just send
Yeah, I contacted
you.
one of my mods, so he's I think he's doing AI warm up because he's nervous to getting smoked by some napalm BTRs or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean you've picked hard mode, but we'll do
Pick
our
hard
best.
mode. We'll go for it.
So I have sent you a long line of random characters in Discord. And so if you just copy that,
Yep.
and then if you go back in game, you close that window, you go to battle groups at the bottom, and you press import. And yeah, you can just stick that in there. It should automatically paste. You can call it what you want.
Hard mode.
Yeah. And now if you scroll all the way down, you should see it. Right. So
All right.
we'll go through it tab by tab. Basically, logistics is fairly straightforward. Some divisions get a fob, like a placeable building that gives you loads of supply. This division does not have that available because they're quote unquote airborne.
Okay.
So instead, we're bringing 3 supply trucks, which is fairly standard for 1v1, keeps your stuff supplied, and you said you like artillery, so we'll need that.
Is this something you usually have? Like you have one around the arty, one around like just a little bit behind your front line, and then one. Like how do you manage that?
Yeah, so you would need one. So you buy your arty, it fires its volley, because it's a rocket launcher artillery, it basically just fires them all. And then you would buy a supply for it, and that would be the more expensive one, simply because it contains more supply.
Yeah.
But it has less availability. So if you click on it, you'll see in the bottom right it has 2,000 supply, whereas
Yeah.
the Ural truck has 1,000. So it's just a bit more cost efficient, because otherwise you'd be spending 80 points for the same amount of supply instead of 60. Like, it's not a
Gotcha.
big deal if you get them the wrong way round, but the thing is that you don't want this one on the front lines, because you only get 3 of them, and if it gets hit by artillery, it's an expensive loss, right? You're losing more
Yeah.
points. But it's not the end of the world if you get them mixed up, because there's not much difference between them. So that's the supply, and yeah, you would essentially, there's certain things that, so like the artillery is very supply hungry, but generally you want to supply like one supply truck, preferably a Ural, near the front lines, because when your infantry gets weak, you send them back to the supply truck, and they get reinforcements. I mean, they sort of heal up. It's a bit
Yeah.
odd, but you could imagine that
Yeah,
there
I've
is
noticed
some.
that, but you have to just. Sometimes it feels like they're actually healing. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, if they're in the circle, they will just get better, I guess.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. They've got to be in the circle, and if they take damage, it cancels. So you got to wait a bit.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's a bit slow. So we're just going for the trucks. You can also get supply helicopters, but these are no longer worth it, because just to go into the history, it used to be that certain cards, like that big supply helicopter you see there, the Grozovoi,
Yeah.
that used to have more supply in the card. So like it would have
Oh, it's only
6,000.
2,000.
Yeah,
It's
so
the same as the Ural.
exactly. So it used to be that was 2,000 times 3, and so that was 6,000, whereas the Ural was only 1,000 times 5, so that was only 5,000. But now they're all the same, so you might as well just get the ground ones, because the helicopter ones get blown up by stingers and all sorts, so they're less reliable. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's the Logi, and then you've got your CV units. One of them.
So when do you actually use these? Like, this one? I mean, obviously to cap stuff, but I mean, is this one capping like your first point or two, like right next to your main, or do you bring it in to sneak it in? I mean, how do you actually use this?
So basically, the in 1v1, it's all about the points, because whoever's got the most points doesn't have to attack, and because you can't see anything, attacking is very difficult in this game.
Yeah.
So at the start, you would typically buy 2 of these CVs, and it depends on the map, but basically you want to cap as many zones as you can at the start, and then you have a point advantage, and then you don't have to attack.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the idea. So those
Do
are
you
the
just get
CVs.
the cheaper one to start? You
Yeah,
just go with a Belazor and then try to rush a couple points so you can
exactly.
get that
Yeah. So that the issue with the Belazor is that it's a car, and so it gets blown up by artillery a bit more easily than the Chaika there, which has more HP and it has some armor on it.
I like money.
Gandalf the
Now
Fat
it has to.
subscribed to the
Does it have
channel.
to stay in the zone once it's capped?
Thank you. No, unless the enemy has a CV in that zone as well.
Okay.
In
So
which,
after you're capped and it officially starts ticking, it means it's secure and you can get your guy back.
that's right, yeah. And on quite a few maps, you can shift queue orders to queue things
Yeah.
up. You would just at the start just queue your CV through all the zones, and it would just drive through them all and cap them all, and then it would eventually end up in the middle zone, which is where you're fighting. So
Okay,
that's
cool.
quite common. So that's the Logi tab. Moving over to the infantry tab. The first thing you'll see is infantry and helicopters. So these guys are mainly for the helicopter.
Okay.
Because they get a pretty good helicopter transport, and as you you might have noticed this in your games, when there's a helicopter, enemy jets just seem to just fly into it and kill it straight away.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to stop that. It's usually about avenging it and making sure you kill that jet so you can't keep doing it. And so this is just a way that you can have more helicopters when your other helicopters die.
Do
Otherwise,
you typically like get your guys in, deploy them, and then pull the helicopter back for kind of zonal coverage or something?
that's right. Yeah. So you wouldn't buy this at the start. You would buy this a bit later, and yeah, you would drop the guys off. and then you would keep the helicopters are best used defensively, because as you can see, it's got this one doesn't have a rocket launcher on it, but basically when an enemy is attacking you, he will, it's just a natural inclination that he won't bring his AA up with the rest of his units. Tends to happen a lot, and so if your helicopter's just sitting there, it's going to really upset him, because it's going to just start shooting all his infantry and he won't really be able to do anything about it.
Okay. Is there a reason why we don't have the rockets? It's just not useful, or you like this one better?
So
Like the actual airframe better?
This airframe has 10 HP if you look in the bottom right, whereas the other one has 8. Having twice as many rockets is useful, but you can always, once your rockets run out on this one, you can just send him back to a supply truck and get more rockets. And so the fact that he's faster, he's got better optics, so you can see a little bit further, and he's got more hit points, that's all very useful. I'll admit the gun on this thing isn't great, but it's mainly because of the hit points and the speed. And it's got some armor on it, but I believe armor doesn't on helicopters isn't too consequential.
Okay.
So the next unit across, we've got. So you said you liked IFVs, and this is an IFV unit. So you get the BMP-2D, which is it's a BMP-2. I believe.
No HCM, it looks like. Oh no, it has one on the top.
Yeah, it's got a
Conkers.
Conkers. Yeah, so it's got a decent ATGM, decent armor, autocannon. It's not as expensive as, so BMP-3s only come in like one division.
Okay.
So BMP-2D is probably the best you're gonna get on packed. If you look at the infantry unit as well. So the really interesting thing about this infantry unit is that it has an RPG with 1,025 meters range, which for an
in the world?
Yeah, for an RPG,
Seriously?
this is the longest in the game. And
That's pretty good accuracy too.
Yeah, and the accuracy gets higher the closer the enemy gets from your max range. So if you've got a high max range, your accuracy goes up. So these guys are pretty annoying for the enemy to deal with. If you can get them into good positions, they can get some rocket launcher shots off that the enemy isn't expecting.
Okay.
The next one along, this squad has an entirely different purpose. We're just bringing them in the trucks. These guys have 14 HP. So this is like your town fighting, or if you need to do an attack, these guys would be at the front because they live for a long time.
Gotcha. Okay.
They've got a lot of HP, and because of that, that means they're carrying a lot of guns. They do a lot of damage. They are quite expensive, but yeah, they're a good squad. And you'll notice that we're bringing them at 2 veterancy. Same with the IFV guys, because these are quite expensive units. It's basically quality over quantity, because you can't afford to buy too many of these guys.
So you don't want these guys to be unattended and get whittled away and die.
Yeah, but the advantage of 14 strength means that you can be a bit lackadaisy with them, and they can survive. So
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to like properly micromanage them. Whereas the last guys we looked at only had 7 strength, so they tend to die reasonably quickly. So the next one along is a Metis squad. So basically, in this game, you get your long range ATGMs like the Conkers, which we're also bringing, or the TOW2, and then you get your medium range ATGMs like this Metis squad. So these guys,
they actually set up a Conkers.
Yeah, they've got a
or what is it?
It's called a Metis.
It's the actual Metis. Okay.
So it's weaker than a Conkers, but the advantage is that it's coming with a squad that can actually fight. And they've got a lot of hit points, which means that they're quite survivable. So if you take a town and you get a bunch of these guys on the edge of the town, mixed in with 1 or 2 of the longer range ones, it's very, very difficult for the enemy to get back in. So when you give up on hard mode and we switch to easy mode, you'll see that there are some divisions that really just abuse this this
It's like
principle.
a dragon or dragoon or something.
It's
I
like
feel
a
I've
dragon.
run in-
That's
Okay.
right, yeah. So it's the pact equivalent of the dragon. So yeah, it's like a medium range ATGM.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're good. Like once you get into a town, and like when you're attacking, it's good to have one of these guys mixed in, and they can take out some longer range targets. And the high HP means that when they're in a building, they're a bit more survivable. They can get shot a bit longer before you have to pull them back.
So is 8 strength considered a high HP?
It is for pact.
Okay. So
So
14 is super high, and 8 is high.
that's right, yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
but NATO does have an advantage in that they have a lot of like 10 and 11 man squads. Particularly the Americans have a lot of high HP squads, and the Germans, the West Germans. But for Pact, 8 is like slightly higher than average. The usual one is 7. And the small teams tend to have like, so the Conkers has 2,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one along is basically the same one we already spoke about, the RPG-22. I just forgot to put them next to each other. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but basically that's a unit we've already covered. Then
I'll swap it so it's next to each other.
yeah, then you've got the Okranas. So
Okay.
these guys are like a meat shield squad. So they've got 10 strength, but they're 45 points. But they've got no anti-tank. They're basically 12 availability in the card.
65? Do I have something different? A 65?
Yeah.
Because you add the Ural to it.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
So yeah, you're paying for the Ural, but the reason we're using the Ural and not the Ural Metler is the point is that you want to spam this unit out, and then you sell the trucks, and you get a tax rebate on your trucks. You get your money back.
Yeah.
So this is like a spammy unit, just to pad out your forces. It also has. So do you see on the unit card near the top? There's like a man walking a dog.
Yeah.
So if you hover over that, it's called security, and that means that when they're stood still, they get slightly better vision. So their optics level increases by 1, so they can see slightly more than a regular infantry unit.
Okay.
So like you would put these on the sides as well as like just to hold some ground to make sure nobody sneaks through, and they would see a little bit further. So there are
you could like shift to respond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you're doing your big attacks, these guys would be at the front leading the way because they're cheap infantry with high HP.
And good vision.
Yeah, or well, better vision.
Better than like your usuals.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one along is an SPG-9. And basically the funny thing about this, so as we mentioned before, in this game you can't see anything. So the guy who gets there first is going to have a big advantage.
Yeah.
This unit, if you look, has the parachute symbol on it. And that means that it has airborne forward deployment. So it will start further forwards. And so basically at the start, you would, depending on how big the map is, etc., you would put one of these on a few of the side roads and one of the middle roads, and you would just attack move them straight down the road. They're not that expensive, but they've got an SPG-9 which can one-shot transports. If it hits, you'll see its accuracy is not high.
Yeah.
But the point is that they would get to those positions first, and they would frustrate the enemy's opener.
Gotcha. Okay.
So those are really useful for that. And then if any of them survive, you can put them in bushes and stuff and shoot as reinforcements as they come in. You can send them around the side. It's a really useful unit.
Yeah, okay.
But it dies easy, as you probably noticed. It's just an open top boat dinghy kind of thing. Next, we've got the Conquers squad. So this is just your standard ATGM. You put it in buildings, hopefully high-rises and churches, because in this game, certain buildings have, like, they're just seen as high buildings. So you can put a Conquers in a church, and the joke we always make is that like religious people can see further, but it's because it's the church spire,
the
right?
steeple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you would put that in the church, or like some of the high-rise building, and it's a defensive unit basically. As you can see, it doesn't have much HP, so if it gets caught out in the open, it's going to die quite easily. Another thing we'll mention in game is that once it fires and like hits something, you need to move it, because the next thing coming the other way is like 155mm Howitzer shell to kill it. So you gotta, once it hits something, just move it to the next building. It takes some getting used to, but it'll keep it alive.
Okay.
The final ones are basically those funny transports we spoke about. So these units themselves are quite weak. You'll see that the units themselves are quite cheap. So one of them's got a satchel charge, which means he needs to get close. So you want this guy for town fighting, but he can be quite weak because he's got low HP, so he dies easily. He's only got 5 HP.
Yeah.
But the advantage is the funny transport with the rockets on it.
Yeah.
And if you can get enough of these together over the course of the game, if you can keep these alive, they can be very useful. If you like keep them together and send them all in, they'll really cause some damage. And the next one along is sort of the same principle, except this guy's got a napalm launcher. It's called the Reese. And that's it's the same principle as the satchel, except he shoots napalm at his opponents, and he can do it from further away. So he's a bit more useful. So you'd want to buy that one first, basically, and once you run out of those, you'll switch to the other one.
Okay.
So that's the infantry tab. I mean, if I'm boring you, we can skip things, but I really feel like
part of what I feel like I understand ideas of these things, but oftentimes I feel like I'm just clicking and I'm like, I don't really know. I mean, I knew before the satchels are good if you can get CQB type stuff.
Yeah.
I would kind of default okay, these guys are RPG, so I know that they have some AT capabilities and that's about it, but actually knowing what they're used for is very, very helpful.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's the infantry tab. The next tab is your favorite tab. It's the artillery tab. And this division is a bit odd in that so most light airborne divisions don't have rocket arty or big rocket arty, but this one does. So this is the BM.
It's pay to win is better.
It's paper variety, but right now
that's what we're going for. All right, paper variety. I like it.
Right now, this is, in my opinion, the best pack div in the game. But yeah, I mean, I like this game a lot, so you're not going to find me slandering this game.
I mean, to be fair, it's only $5, so it's not but it's okay. All right, anyway, okay, so we got artillery, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we got the two grads. And so this is so in an ideal situation, you will get to a position first and hold that position. But this division, because it's half and half, and it's like a sort of a mixed bag, it doesn't have the strongest forward deployed contingent. You'll see that we've basically just got these trucks, and there's a couple other things we'll get to, but it doesn't have the strongest forward deployed contingent. So in a situation where you have to attack, you would take your time, buy 2 of these, and just start leveling all the buildings.
Gotcha.
And yeah, they're really effective. You've got 3 cards of supply. You can keep them firing for a good 30 minutes before you run out. The next unit along is a real meme machine. This thing is hilarious. So did you play Red Dragon at all? Wargame Red Dragon?
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, no worries. For those watching, maybe that have played Red Dragon, yeah, there's something. Have you heard of the ATACMS missile? Just generally. Okay. So basically, in Wargame Red Dragon, there was a missile that you would click, and it would fire this extremely precise missile that would basically just really do some heavy damage to whatever it hits. This is like the Soviet budget ATACMS.
Okay.
Essentially, it fires really slow, but it has 6 penetration, which means that if the enemy has a stationary AA unit, basically anything with less than 3 top armor, any vehicle with less than 3 top armor, this thing will one-shot.
So that's like most IFVs, I guess?
It's all IFVs and about half of the tanks. Most of the tanks,
Alright.
not the heavy tanks. So
Damn, okay.
it's a pretty funny meme machine. I mean, the only issue is it's really expensive. So you might... It's a good laugh. And it's reasonably effective, but it's kind of hard to use well. It's very expensive. But
the thing you have to fire and then immediately move so you don't get countered.
Yeah, and it's got to be quite close to the front line, and it fires quite slow. But it's a very funny piece of kit. It's definitely worth bringing. If you don't like it, you can take it out. But it's worth checking out. The one on the right is just mortars. We bring the mortars in the armored transport because when you're being counter-batteried, you put them in the armored transport and then move them, and they've got a better chance of surviving than if you put them in the truck.
All right, so you don't sell this one. This sticks with the team.
That's correct. Yeah, you actually, the game doesn't let you sell it.
Oh, because it's not a truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I use these predominantly for smoke. If you actually want to kill things, use the grads.
Yeah, makes sense.
And if you want to kill vehicles, use the super mortar. But I usually use these for smoke. If, like, I saw you smoke it in your game, so you've got a handle on that. Like, most players just don't use smoke. Smoke is...
Yeah, I guess, after doing it, I kind of realized, like, I should have had each one smoke the separate locations so they all landed at once, because I believe what I was doing is making them all hit that one spot and then shift Q to the other spot, another spot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and these mortars are quite cheap, so you can get them close, and yeah, you can just hold shift and B and just spam loads of smoke orders.
They're pretty quick firing. Is there speed, aiming time, rate of fire? What does 18 rate of fire mean?
18 rounds in a minute.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the issue with the mortars is that they have a really... So they are quick firing, but they have a really high trajectory. So they do take a while to land.
Gotcha.
It's just a idiosyncrasy in the game. But basically, I use these for smoke. You can use them for other stuff. And if you were to change this tab, you could swap out the cluster mortar for the Nona S. Because basically, if you want to...
what is that one? Is that just this other 82 millimeter?
It's basically a howitzer. It's called the Nona S.
Oh, Nona S, I see, yeah. Okay.
And that thing... basically, you know when you see these small ATGM teams in a building, it's not worth... It can be not worth firing a whole grad volley at it, so you would swap out the cluster thing for these, and you would use these to hit the ATGM team.
Gotcha.
But I prefer it like this, and then, obviously you can change the deck however you want.
Okay.
So that's artillery, and it's got some pretty good options there. So the tank tab, you do get tanks. They are unfortunately T-62s, so they're not the top of the range.
They are, okay.
They're not the top of the range tank. But basically what we've got here is a command tank with some lovely Russian words written on it. I'm not sure what it means. I think it's just somebody's name, because this is based off a real life model.
Zubitbeka?
Oh, you can read Russian?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Zubitbeka Abdullara? I don't know. Something. It looks probably a name.
Yeah, so I think...
is in there.
Yeah, I think it was a guy wrote his own name on the tank or something.
Nice.
So that's your command tank. When you want to take a zone and you need something that's not going to immediately die to artillery, you would get this, because it's just more survivable. The next one is your bread and butter tank, and the reason this is strong, so that the gun isn't great, the speed isn't great, the armor's not great. The advantage is it's got this ATGM on it called the Bastion, or they call it the 9M117. This has 2,800 meters range and 70% accuracy.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's the longest range ATGM in the game. It's got very high accuracy, and it's also really quick. Like, you'll see it go quite speedily across the field. And so this is yet another defensive tank, basically. You get it into a position, it outranges the enemy tanks, and if the enemy shoots at it, because it's got some armor, you should be able to pop smoke and get out of there. Whereas an infantry team would probably die in a similar situation. So that's a cool tank. Once you run out of those, the one next to it is basically the same, but without that cool ATGM.
Okay.
So it's a bit cheaper, but it's not got the ATGM, so it's just not as good. The last one, the bundle of sticks, as we call it in the monetized community, this is like the SPG-9 car in the other tab.
Gotcha. This was an ATGM.
Yeah, it's forward deployed, it's cheap, it's got an ATGM on it, so when you're spamming out your stuff at the start, your annoying units, you would have a couple of these and a couple of the SPGs, because they can shoot further, they can do more damage. So yeah, they serve a slightly different purpose. The cool thing about this and the SPG-9 one is if you look in the bottom right, it says stealth good.
Oh, yeah.
So this has good stealth, which means that later on in the game you can hide them in bushes, and the enemy will struggle to see them. Whereas the tank one, if you go back to the tank one, because it's a tank, has bad stealth.
Yeah.
So it would get spotted, but it can survive a hit. So that's your trade-off there. But as you can see, the bundle of sticks is like 1/3 the price.
Yeah.
So it's a really good unit. Great at the start, and throughout the game it's sort of reasonably useful. So that's that. Then we switch to the recon tab. So the first one is you have a recon BMP2D. So this is it's like your BMP2D in the other tab, except it's a bit more expensive, but it has good optics. And it has mediocre stealth instead of bad stealth. So it's better. Like, it might not be immediately obvious, but basically it can see a bit further, and it's a bit harder to spot, and it starts a bit further forwards at the start. So it's a really annoying unit for your enemies to fight into, because it can deal a lot of punishment. You see the ATGM's quite good, the armor's, decent, the autocannon's there. And it's not bad stealth, so there are situations where they just won't be able to see it.
Okay.
So that it's a useful unit. It's very pricey, and so we bring it at 2 vet because you're not going to be able to afford that many.
Okay.
And the next one, this is an interesting unit. So it's only got 4 HP, but it has the forward deployed ability. It's an airborne unit. It's got a really good RPG with 21 pen. And it's got a stinger, because, these guys are from the Afghan war. They captured it from some Americans, basically. Or, they captured it from the Afghan forces. So these guys, you would buy all 4... We'll, when we get into the game, I'll sort of, backseat you and annoy you to death, telling you how to place all your units. Basically, you buy 4 of these at the start, and you do your attack at the start. You get them all in one place, and then the enemy sends over a helicopter, he sends over a plane, and they just shoot it all down. It's really difficult to deal with, but they don't have a lot of HP, so you got to keep them safe.
Okay, makes sense.
The last one is a recon helicopter. This thing is quite useful. Basically, it's got this trait called jamming, and that's not the reason why you get it. It's sort of the idea is that, as you can see, it's got those kind of weird pylons on the side. It will decrease enemy vision a little bit, and it will cancel his. So some of your artillery.
Buff if you have spotters.
Yeah, so it's a bit kind of buggy. The main reason we get it is because it's got 30% ECM. So it's harder to hit, and it's got very good optics, and it's got 8 HP, so it can survive a hit from most things and then run away.
Okay.
So it's just a recon helicopter. I like them. Some people don't like them. If you were to get rid of this, you could replace it with there's the BRDM-2.
Yeah, yeah.
So this thing has very good optics. It's really cheap, quite available. You get 5 of them, and so this thing can be useful because basically you just click it and press F and then click on your tank, and it will just follow your tank around, giving your tank optics. And because it's so
nice. Cheap,
it doesn't matter what happens to it. You can sort of do the same thing with the BMP-2D, but it's kind of pricey. So that's another option. Like, you could get rid of the recon helicopter.
Yeah, having the helicopter, though, I noticed it was nice when I had it, and I felt kind of like I couldn't see as much when I didn't have a deck with a recon helicopter.
Yeah, I really like them. Yeah, they let you see things. It's just keeping them alive can be quite tough. You only get 2 of them, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the recon tab. Next is AA. So this is one of the weakest tabs that you have. Basically, the options aren't great. You've got the Igla, which is your man-pad, man portable air defense system.
Yep.
It's basically you always when you're doing a push, you want a couple Iglas with the push because they've got exceptional stealth, which means that they can get quite close without getting shot.
Okay, yeah.
And so that means that your guys at the front can be protected, whereas the Strela 10M, because it's a vehicle, has bad stealth. So even though it's got more range, more damage, more missiles, it can't get as close. So that's the advantage of the man-pads. But this is, no doubt about it, this is your weakest tab. You've got the Strela 10M, which is all right. So do you know about some AA is radar and some is not radar?
Yeah, I do know that, and I'd have a couple decks in the past that had a couple different variety depending on where you're placing them, I guess.
Yeah, so you get no radar AA, which means that your AA doesn't have amazing range, but it does mean so there's units in the game which fire missiles that home in on radar signatures.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about those at all because you've got no radar stuff, so you just don't have to worry about them.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, your AA is quite weak. That is a disadvantage of this deck. So it's not entirely pay to win.
Okay.
So the next tab is helicopters. Basically, you've got your general choice is between the MI8 line of helicopters, which has less HP, but you get 2 in a card, or the MI24 line of helicopters, where you get 1 in a card, but they're a bit better.
Yeah.
Basically, I like the 2 AA helicopters because sometimes you can buy both at the start, charge them forwards, and
Well, it's a heli rush.
sort of. I mean,
AA heli rush.
yeah. I mean, you wouldn't charge them all the way to the enemy spawn. People mean different things when they say heli rush. You're only buying 2 at the end of the day. But they have the ability to sort of defend themselves a little bit because they've got the anti-air missiles. And they've got a very good gun on them. If you can get the gun in range, that's good.
Yeah.
They got plenty of rockets. It's a good helicopter. And,
Okay.
And then the one on the right is an ATGM helicopter. So this is a bit of a disadvantage with the way I've built the deck, that you've only got 1 ATGM helicopter. But basically, you would keep this quite far back, and as we said before, when the enemy attacks, he tends to overextend his AA, and so his tanks would essentially drive into this thing. It's got 2,800 meters range, and it will just start taking them out. But you've got to be very careful with it because you've only got 1.
Yeah.
If you want to rebuild the deck, obviously you can build it however you want. You can see that there's a few more options which would give you more ATGMs. And if you want like more dumbfire rockets, the the MIAMT Rocket 2 and Rocket 3 are quite good. The Rocket 1 is kind of bad because it's got half as many rockets as the Rocket 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's lots of options here. So yeah, that's something to consider. Then you've got your air tab. So your air tab, you've got 2 fighters, which you've got to be quite careful with. Basically, when the enemy dives past your AA net, you would buy this and send it out to try and finish him off. It's not the strongest thing ever. It's quite cheap. Then you've got the AT-1, the MiG-27K AT-1. So it's a trade-off between this and the AT-2. Basically, the AT-1 has longer range, but the AT-2 has better so the missiles are fire and forget. So you know when you click on the unit, you can see the missile, and above it there's like 3 little symbols. One of them is fire and forget, which means that even if your plane gets shot down, the missile is going to keep going. Whereas the other one relies on the plane keeping alive and not getting stunned or anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So between those two, you can pick whichever one you want. I change between them. Right now I'm trying the AT-1. The advantage of the AT-2 is it also has 4 anti-air missiles, so if you run out of fighters, you can sort of use it as a fighter.
Okay, gotcha.
The ones on the right, so the LGBT bombers, basically it stands for laser guided bomb / television, because some of them are not laser guided.
Okay.
They've got a supply cost of 60, which means that if you don't take any damage, this thing will get its bombs back in 60 seconds. And it can basically kill anything, or any ground unit, apart from maybe the heaviest of tanks, in one hit. As you can see, it's only 1 per card, but it's really, really strong if you can keep it alive. If the enemy is overextending towards you, you can drop one of these on him, and basically the way it works is you right click on it. As soon as the bombs leave, you would evac your plane, so you would press V or evac. If you right click on the map after you've dropped the bombs miss. It's just a problem with the game. It's just the way it is. So yeah, that's just something to consider.
All right.
But if you can use it properly, this thing is
press
incredibly
evac and
strong.
then don't touch the mouse. Let the bombs blow up and then.
Well, once you press evac, it will not take any further orders. So yeah, you would right click, the bombs would disappear, and then you would evac immediately, and hopefully it survives.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because it's an LGBT, it can fire from quite far away. It drops the bombs from quite far away, so it's not exposed for that long to the enemy air net. So if you can keep these alive, they're so strong. And if you see an enemy one of these, anything with LGBT at the end, that's what you want to take out. You want to prioritize that target because they're just so annoying.
Yeah, and this is, you'd say most of the time you use this if someone is overextending a bit, so that way you know for the most part their AA isn't going to be able to slap it.
That's right, yeah. Or if you're absolutely sure that the AA is dead, then you can just use it. But yeah, if the enemy's attacking, you can buy one of these, send him in. Also, yeah, near the start of the game, people tend not to have too much AA.
Oh, try to get a cheeky bomb off at the beginning.
Yeah, and you can use it in conjunction with the stuff in your arty tab to blow up his AA. If you see it beforehand, you can grad it. You can use the cluster thing. If you've got open skies, this thing is just it's a delete button on a 60-second cooldown.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So that's the deck. I'm sorry that went on for a while, but
no, it's like I'm probably not going to know everything right out the gate, but there's enough in here where I feel like now I understand. I have some good infantry, some sneaky forward deploy recon and harassment. Yeah. My AA is going to kind of suck, but that's okay. It's good to keep my vehicles alive because of the weird systems they have. My tanks are kind of crappy, but they can also be used to shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's good. I think I have a good understanding of what I'm using. I don't know if I can use it effectively. That's a different question, but I at least have a good understanding of strengths, weaknesses, and what I'm going to be trying to use.
Great. So yeah, it's not the easiest division in the game to play, but it's a very strong division, and it's also got a lot of flavor, a lot of interesting units. So
Yeah,
it's a good
that's
one.
cool. That's cool.
So I guess the next part is to find a willing volunteer. I think you said you had somebody lined up.
Yeah, I got one of my mods. I think did I actually save anything or no? I'll just discard either way. Just in
Yeah,
case.
I would just discard, yeah, and then it'll keep it as it was. So that's that. And essentially now we would host a game. Or your teammate can host the game, but basically you would just back out to the multiplayer screen.
All right. All right.
Great.
Got it.
So the map
Pick
I
mine.
would recommend. So we want a map that's in ranked. So
Okay.
if he could put it on Two Lakes Duel, that would be a good one.
Two Lakes Duel.
And by default, the ranked settings are 1 times income and 40 minutes time limit.
Is the ambiance evening as well?
That doesn't matter too much. Just whatever you want. But yeah, it would be by default. It would be evening ambiance. Yes.
Income rate fact. Sorry, what was it? Income was what?
Times 1. So basically, it's going to feel like you've got too many points, especially because in 10v10 you get like half the income. But this is the settings that ranked is on. So you need to train up for that, basically.
Okay.
Great. So we're ready to go. And I'm going to be seriously backseating you for the next
please.
40 minutes.
Okay, so we got this. Easy.
You got this. You got this. Also, he's playing the 101st Airborne, which is the other unit that you get in this DLC.
So we are both pay to win.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
sorry, pay to be varied.
Pay
the variety we have is better than.
Yeah, I mean, they're not paying me, but.
All right. So we don't. Just so I understand when this all starts, if I were to press auto deploy, would it just randomly select a bunch of stuff?
Oh yeah.
Never press that. But out of curiosity, this is what would happen.
Yeah, if you press it, it will automatically spend all your points, and it will basically do what the AI was going to do in your place. And so, it's just a bad idea. You do it's supposed to be like a new player tool, but I feel like you're missing a crucial part of the game if you.
Yeah. Okay, so I can close this immediately. This Warno thing.
Yeah. So basically, do you see? So there's 2 zones in the middle. One's called Olga and one's called Emma.
Yeah.
You have preferential access in Emma.
Yep.
And Olga is quote unquote your enemy's zone. Because you've got forward deployed, you should be able to get into Olga before him because he does not get forward deployed. And
even though he's airborne, he doesn't get the same type of.
That's right. Yeah. So he relies a lot on helicopters at the start.
Okay.
Whereas your stuff, some of it starts further forward. So what you want to do is open up the infantry tab, and essentially those SPG-9s, you want one on every road that goes towards the enemy.
Okay.
So yeah, one there's good. That road to the right.
Shift click to do. Is it?
Yeah, if you hold shift, you can place multiple. Yeah. So yeah, one on that road's great. There's a road between them that goes straight down the middle of the map. So yeah, one there too. That's cool. There's.
What would you order them?
So, just.
Do I still want to do this road out here?
Yeah, if you can, that'd be really useful actually. So just get as close as you can with it. Actually, so instead of the SPG-9 for that one, if you could go to the tank tab and spawn the bundle of sticks. And yeah, down there's good, or just where the SPG-9 one is, and it will automatically
move.
Yeah. So you wanna click that. Click N. N is attack fast move. I don't know why it's N. And then,
Okay.
yeah, just click over there somewhere. Basically, he'll get as far as he can, and then he'll shoot, and it's really going to upset your opponent. The SPG-9 one, yeah, just send it straight down. So do you see that back zone? The zone, not that one. The sorry, it's kind of hard to describe. The white one, Leonid.
Leonid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just send it to the top corner of that. Yeah, down there. The one on in the middle, you would just send straight down that road to those bushes.
Like here.
Yeah, if it gets that far, great. Basically, you're just trying to buy time. You're
And
trying
this is
to.
all in move, so if it sees something, it will
It will stop and shoot.
engage.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good place there for that one.
Because you want to get this control this road or try to, right?
Yeah.
But this is his zone, so this would be sketchy if I got there.
No, I think you might be all right. Another thing, so if you look in the bottom right, there's something that's like it looks like an arrow with some dots on it in the far bottom right of your screen.
Far bottom right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if you click that, I think it's that one. You can now see all your orders.
Oh, okay.
Really, really useful.
Yeah. Wow, it's weird that it doesn't start by default, actually. Okay.
Yeah, it's
have
an
this
interesting
on?
one. I have it on all the time.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
okay.
I think it will remember your option. But yeah, it should be on by default. So on the Olga road, you want to go in your recon tab and buy all 4 of those Spetsnaz GRU Stinger guys.
Really? Okay.
So on the leftmost road that you have an SPG-9 on, and yeah, you just want to buy all 4 of them. And basically, if
you control group these,
you can, but I wouldn't in this instance. So you can control group any unit by you select them all and you do control 1 or control 1 to 9,
Yeah.
and then when you press 1, it will automatically select them all. Basically,
so where are these guys? You want them all moving together, so that way they can just DPS something down, really, just burst it.
no. So what you want to do with this guy is you press Y, and which stands for unload at position, and you want to unload them in the edge of Olga, so that you know that the road that you're going to.
Yeah, so this one, like right here.
No, in the actual zone, you will actually get in there. And
in here, so you're in one of these taller buildings.
yeah, but I would have it
true.
near. Put one in the church for sure, but I would have the rest near the start.
Oh, so like here, so then they're just in the buildings immediately.
That's right. Yeah. So you've then what you want to do is hold Shift and click on the bottom. Click one of them, and it will deselect one of them. And then you send them all to the next building, and deselect another one. Send them all to the next building.
Okay,
Deselect. It's just a bit faster than doing them one at a time.
Sorry,
so-
that was a.
So you would just you would release Shift, just press Y, and then click on that building, and then they would all be a different building, preferably, because you want them all in different buildings. So like now one's going to there, then you would hold Shift and deselect one again, and then
How do I erase this? Like, if I'm like, okay, I think these moves are all scuffed. If I just.
you would just select them all and tell him you're probably going to be like five minutes. Basically, you want them all in slightly different buildings, and that's just a way that you can sort of do it all quite quickly. But yeah, you would essentially. So you would release Shift when you press Y. It's not a big deal.
I understand what you mean now. Okay. Yeah, so they all start here, or so you know you're going to all the same kind of buildings.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, so you would press Y, yeah, and then yeah, great. And now basically one is going to go to each building when you do this. So you'd want one in the church for sure because they can see further.
The keybinds are weird. I got it. I understand what we're
doing. Don't worry too much about it.
Like
you could just select them all one at a time and just order them one at a time. It's not a big deal.
I gotta learn the meta. All right.
And then yeah, you would deselect that. Great. Yeah, one in there, and then the final one I'd put in the church. Yeah, perfect. It's just
right,
once you get used to it, it's just a faster way of doing things. When you go into ranked, people won't wait for you. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are your 4 Stinger teams. Then you want to try and get, so you know those ATGM tanks?
Yep.
you want one of those.
Like the main tank, right? Or
No,
the
you would want
MD1?
the MD, not one, that one, because it's got an ATGM on it.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you'd buy that, put it, yeah, on that zone on the left, and then you would send that down. So that road the SPG-9's going down. Do you see there's some houses like in the middle of it? So you would send it to about there. And if you do N, typically you'd want it like a little bit behind the house, just so essentially, so if you press C, you get the line of sight tool. So if it's a little bit behind the house on the left of the road, so the left house where those trees are, so a little bit behind there, you can see that. So if you go to the edge on the left, you should be looking at the road that goes into Olga. Sorry, it's a bit hard to describe, but basically...
The road that goes into Olga, this road over here?
Yes, that one, yeah. So you would... there. So you want it there.
You want this... Okay,
yeah.
So I'm protected from the main road, but I can snipe who's going into
Exactly.
Olga.
People can't shoot you. Because of the building, some anti-tank planes would also have a problem trying to hit you because of the building, but you should be able to shoot guys coming down Olga, and you can be really, really annoying. Yeah, or like a little bit more to the left. A lot of this game is playing around the line of sight and just trying to get those optimum positions. I realize it's a bit pedantic.
Yeah, but no, it's I understand the idea. Is I'm trying to make sure I don't have to worry about this at the moment, and I can get people here so I can engage while they try to rush into Olga.
Exactly. Yeah. So the next thing, so that's your forward deployed stuff for your Olga attack. The next thing I would buy is 2 CVs, and you would put the cheap car ones. You would put one where that T-62 is, and you would put one on the right of the zone, on the road on the right. The CV on the left, you want to send to the far left zone, just fast path it.
Is that F?
F, yeah, F for fast move. I'm not sure how they got N for attack fast move, but there you go. And the one on the right, you would shift fast move it to Anna, and then to Emma, because Emma should be your zone. So if you hold shift, you can queue up the order, and you'd want it not on that main road. You'd want it behind the buildings. When it gets to Emma, because basically you want it like behind the buildings a bit. Otherwise, somebody looking down that main road can shoot you. So you just want to hide it a bit, yeah. So we need to. So he's playing the helicopter division. So I think he's gonna buy a bunch of helicopters at the start.
Probably.
So I would just buy both of your fighter jets, or at least one. Let's start with one. So that the far left one, the MLD, some people call it the Mauled, the Maulding MiG. So you've got the fighter jet there.
If anything, his AA can't even get up there quick enough if he does.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So unless he's protecting it with his own fighters, which he might be, I don't know how good this guy is. Also, if he's watching the stream, he might have some inside information.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you'd buy a fighter there. I don't want to buy 2 because then you'll be thin on the ground. So we got 450 points left, and basically you want some infantry for Olga and some infantry for Emma. So that those Metis squads, I would put one on the left, one on the right again. The one on the right I would just send into Emma, and the one on the left I would just send into the start of Olga, and then you can move them around as needs be. So yeah, it's Y for unload at position. I'm not sure why it's Y, but once they get there, you can move them up. Basically, if you could get that meta squad to the church, it would be very powerful, because if you use the line of sight tool on the church, you'll see that it can see pretty far compared to other stuff. And then if you look at the building next to it, is can't.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty big, pretty big deal. You'll also see
that's crazy. This building looks taller than this too.
Exactly. Okay. So it's religious people can see further than atheists. Is the joke.
I understand now.
And you'll also see that there's some like grain silos on the map that look really tall, and they have the same thing going for them. So if you look at that,
Gotcha.
his white zone to the right there, you see all those grain silos. If you they've got the tall building modifier as well. Some maps have skyscrapers, and they can see pretty far too. Sadly, you don't have a church in your town on the right.
Yeah.
So those are the meta squads. Then you want to pad it out with you know those Okrana guys?
Yeah.
So I would just put 2 on each side.
And that's all I got.
That's all you got. So yeah, you want those guys going in the middle. Sorry, go into the zones. So the 2 on the right would go to
just blind move them so they dismount.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my big fear is that he might heli rush Emma. So, yeah, I mean, we've just got to sort of hope that doesn't happen.
And if we, if that happens, we have a plane, we got some iglas.
Yeah, but the iglas are going to Olga, and he might heli rush Emma.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But you've accidentally pathed the guys on the right to Olga.
Oh, yep, because I double did it.
So you just want to like.
How do I like unselect? Do I right click?
Oh, is that not? So okay, so press escape. Go in your options, and there should be something called sticky selection. It's
oh my god, that's
so you want
so
not
annoying.
sticky.
Yeah, okay. I keep pressing escape, trying to. Okay, thank God.
So that I forgot about that entirely. I don't know why that's the default option. That is a bad default option.
Yeah, because I feel like that happens quite often where now I'm just kind of stuck.
Yeah, so when you hold shift, it's basically selecting all the ones it can see. And then, yeah, so you just want those in there. Yeah, so you've got 0 points left. I'm trying to think. So I'm a bit worried about this heli rush, to tell you the truth. So, you know, well, okay, so you've got the Metis on the right. Well, we'll just see what happens. I mean, it'll be good flavor if he goes for it. So I think
launched and we're good?
I think we're ready. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I appreciate your patience. I realize that it's kind of difficult to point all this out at once. So there is.
Oh, okay, we're going.
So how try hard do you want to be?
I want to learn good fundamentals. I think that's a good. I mean,
okay, so you wouldn't like lean into borderline exploits, for example.
I'm not a person who likes exploits. Like, if there's a way I could win without exploits, then I do that, even if it means I'm not as efficient.
Okay, but it's like so there's some things that you might be better off not knowing for your own sanity.
Yeah.
So we'll just
also understand that I might not understand all the
right. The helicopters are there. Send the plane out. And you want to right-click the transport one. So yeah, that Black Hawk, perfect.
Oh, the Chinook?
Yeah. No, the Black Hawk's fine. And basically your next tick of income.
I just lost.
So he landed in time, basically. So just keep that going. In the left zone, you should be able to unload your units. Basically, you want to buy another plane now and send it in on that Apache with the last one, and just kill those. And if you've got points left for infantry, put some more infantry in that town. I realize it's getting a bit hectic now. Also, if you look on the left of the map, there's probably some action going on over there. Once that ATAS dies, you can try and kill those transports, because if he sells those, he gets points. But yeah, if you get hit, just evac. The hotkey is V. On the left, you've got a big advantage. So if you just select your infantry and just move them forwards, like Q move them forwards, not the Stinger teams, the low HP team, the high HP teams even. So like those Orc guys and the Metis squad, and yeah, you just send them up. Just press Q and get over there. You want to go building to building, but it's hard to pay attention to everything. You need to get that back a bit. No worries, don't worry about it. Try and move your infantry forwards so that they can get to the edge of the town. There is also an auto sell option, which we'll discuss after the game. Don't think there's time for that right now. In the bottom left, you've got your CV, and you can now send that up to the zone you've just taken. with all your other guys. So yeah, you're moving up there. Things are going all right there. So we need to focus on what's going on the right. I should have prepared you better for the.
On this side, actually.
You don't have what? Sorry.
I don't have stingers on this side. I have no AA. This Blackhawk's just doing its thing.
Yeah, the Black Hawk is going to land. So you want your guys in the buildings. Attack move by default will just make them stop. The buildings are so much more powerful. You also don't want them in the same building because he will bomb it. And you've got some points. You just need to flood that town with loads of infantry now.
Which infantry does it matter?
A couple Metis, a couple of the Orc guys, a couple RPG-22s. You just want them all in there. One thing you can do is when you click the unit and then click Y, we click the card, then you click Y, and it will automatically unload at position when you left click after that. So
gotcha, yeah.
It's just a bit easier.
These guys look like they're about to die though. So
yeah, so get your jet up and go kill that Cobra. You got one of your jets back.
I don't see the Cobra.
Okay, so he's messing you up a bit on the left, but you're winning on the left. You just you killed his guy. So yeah, that Molder, you can send it on the Blackhawk if you want, and you've got another tick of income. You just need more and more and more infantry in that town. And I would put like a couple infantry on the other town as well. So we've got a bit of a problem where he's killed your CV with that aero scouts there. So
yeah, right here.
Yeah, so you need to buy another one. Just send it down the other road, and you would.
I like kill these guys.
So you want to buy the LGBT, or you can send that AGS after it. But that plane, the really good plane, you want to buy that, but you need vision on him.
What, helicopter back here then?
Yeah, you could get a recon helicopter just to keep him spotted. He's also got Eagles up at the moment. And yeah, you're just getting more infantry in that town. Honestly, half the game is just spending your income because people forget. He's got some guys in there. You could buy like a tank for the side and try and get that tank around the side. But honestly, I would buy the LGBT now and use it to kill that Humvee tow. It's in the air tab.
Humvee tow right here?
Yeah. And if you lose vision, kill the aero scouts. It's really, really useful. Also, yeah, your fighters back up so you can try and take out another helicopter.
Get to Apache here.
Yeah. So one of those Orkrana guys, if you send it to where the Humvee tow was, then you'll be able to see the Humvee tow.
Dude, how does that not kill the helicopter?
Yeah, that's it's quite
crazy.
A cheap plane. So you want to evac that guy.
Okay, kill the ATGM.
Think you're gonna make it.
I'm actually okay on here.
Okay, that was great. So you want some Strela 10Ms on the right. And you want to buy CV for that left zone. But yeah, you need to kill that aero scouts that's over there somewhere. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's like it's quite hectic. But you just need to keep spending your points. I would move the Stingers up to the front of that town, and I would buy a supply over there. You see, one of those Stingers is quite low. They only carry 3 rounds, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he's already depleted.
Yeah. So yeah, on the right, you could probably start moving your infantry up and just buy some more infantry.
Oh, I just clicked.
So sooner or later, this is going to stop working because he's just going to buy some more AA. So just be aware of that. But for now, it's doing all right. I would just get that out. Yeah. And yeah, I'd buy some Iglas for the right. Just spend your points, basically. Like, a suboptimal buy is better than nothing.
Iglas, yeah.
And... yeah, we're still hunting for that aero scouts on the left with that recon heli. You just need to send it forwards a bit. Buy the next LGBT bomber as well for when we spot him.
Okay.
That Strela 10M should be in the town with the other guys. And yeah, now it's basically just like infantry grinding. Sadly, you are packed, so his stuff is just kind of better. But you would just keep buying infantry, keep putting them in there. So yeah, some of those RPG-22 guys are good as well because they've got the super high HP. And yeah, you could use that's a good purchase as well. Could get that around the side. Still struggling to find this guy. I'm not sure what happened to him. I just keep sending that recon forwards, that recon heli forwards a little bit, and I would buy the second LGBT.
Okay.
So you spotted him, and now yeah, just go kill that guy. So you don't want to be like too far away because you'll lose vision. But yeah, it's just a learning thing. You get to the point where you realize like yeah, you're out of gun range there, so that's perfect. You just press E to stop, and you'll just stay there.
Okay.
And then yeah, as soon as it drops, you want to evac it, and that's gonna go repair now. And yeah, just send that CV up. Get that CV in that zone. That Belazor, yeah, just get it in there. And all those cars, I would sell all those cars on the left to get a nice rebate from the government. It's L for sell.
Oh.
I don't know why it's L, but it is.
Okay, and then this is Logi is in a good spot here, I think.
Yeah, and you can send your units back to get resupplied on that Logi. And I would buy another CV for the right. Because you're doing all right over there. And I would buy some more infantry for the left. So, yeah, we also need to deal with that Humvee tow that's around there somewhere. I know he's got that. There it is. You can just see it on the right there. Because he's going to keep killing your units as they come in. And yeah, you've got some Iglas. Yeah, it's rough.
Cobra's killing me, dude.
You could... so that BMP-2 can fight it if it gets in a good spot. Like, you'll see it'll start shooting it now. And it's actually...
So, I mean, it's already almost dead.
No, it's gonna win.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Holy crap.
So, autocannon's good against helos.
He's gonna get smoked by his arty, though.
Yeah, and you just need to keep flooding more infantry in there. Just keep buying the inf. And yeah, the LGBTs are off cooldown, so you can just send them in. You also, that recon helo on the left, if you can send it over to the right, we can try and... Oh, it died. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah,
I guess the
Blackhawk. How did my Strela not kill him?
I'm not sure. That's
weird.
Quite rare, actually. So you could buy a recon helo for the right, your second one, and you could use that to find that Humvee tow, because he's just going to keep trying to snipe your reinforcements as they come in. But you're doing all right. Like, you've got those Iglas back there. You can send those up. You've got that Strela. Oh, it's actually still alive. Your recon helo. It's at the back there.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, so you could just land it next to that supply and get it back. But yeah, you need more infantry in that town. I would just spam, like, hold shift and just get all those RPG-22 teams or RPG-16, whatever works. Just get a bunch of those. I would just evac that. You're getting chased down by an Eagle. He's got a much better ASF than you, air superiority fighter.
Maybe dead. Oh,
you might survive.
Oh,
he's gonna make it.
Is he gonna make it?
Right. So he's gonna have to turn around. Right. Send out your other jet. Send out your other jet. Get him. You can shoot him in the back.
Oh!
Nice. Nice. That's a big kill.
Nailed it.
That is a big kill. Your jet is half the price of his jet. That's a big kill. Good job. So the advantage is engineers don't have AT, so that thing can really bully those guys.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah, but he'll probably... So those AT4 guys do have AT, so it's just a bouncing act. But yeah, you just need to get loads of infantry in that town now. That's what it's all about. And I don't think he's attacking on the left. I think he's just very preoccupied with the right. What you could do is buy a Conkers and put it in that church. And that should lock that down quite a bit from attacks.
660. Maybe get some tanks to.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can get those 2,800-meter ones and just put them on the sides. For some reason, he's smoking something, so I think he's trying to attack. This is perfect. Those LGBTs, you got to get those out. The eagle is down, so this is your opportunity.
Where would I bomb? Just the
bomb the guy. So if you can get one in the church, get the Spetsnaz Gru in the church.
How do I unselect
left click?
this?
Left click.
Okay.
So get one of those Spetsnaz Gru in the church building, and then you should be able to see the enemies, and then you can summon the LGBTs to take them out.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would unload all those guys. It's you for unload. Right, so you can see them all.
Yeah, they're unloading auto unload.
Yeah, so you just select them all and press U, and then they'll unload immediately, and then you could survive a bit more. So yeah, you could go on the Abrams. I would send both at once. Get one on those aero rifle dragons, or just one on each Abrams. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Also, send the jet out with them, so the jet will soak AA shots. That's
okay.
So you just fly it over, and or you could send it on that helicopter while it's there. Why not? So yeah, you lost vision sadly, but you did get that guy. So the LGB, you can send it on that aero engineers. And as soon as it drops, just press V. It didn't drop in time. You can send it on the left, maybe. I don't know if there's some stuff on the left. Yeah, just get that guy out of there. Another thing you can do is press T for attack position. So just evac that immediately. And that will... that's very useful. I'd recommend buying a CV tank for that zone. And honestly, you've got loads of points. Just spend away. Just spend away. Get it all in there.
Lost my plane, I think.
Yeah, I think it might have gone over a Strela or something. Sorry, gone over a Stinger. So yeah, now it's just about flooding this town. And also, on the left, I think he got a couple units in on the left. Are you still here?
Don't know why they're all going there. I just did like attack moved way out in the middle of nowhere. Just lost a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, it's can be frustrating, yeah. So you still got an LGB up, and you could use it on that Aero Engineers. It's in mission.
Yeah, they're... Oh, that doesn't make sense. Evac?
No, you could use it. You could use it. I would use it on that Aero Engineers. But he's going to vanish, so I'd just press T and press the building he was in. It was that long one. Yeah. T. That was just right click. So, or you could use it on the guy that's visible. Just right click him. Oh crap! I didn't even see that guy. Sorry.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, you got a lot of points. You could it's basically just an infantry grind. Sadly, his infantry is better than yours. That's just a NATO kind of thing. And he's managed to get a CV in on the left.
So I don't understand how my AAs are here with a Logi, but they're not shooting this dude.
So they can't see, so you need to put them in the church. They don't have line of sight.
How do people keep not going in the church? Let's see.
The problem you're going to have is as soon as they get in the church, the enemy units are going to start shooting them. You could send the LGB out and hit him. Because, yeah, you can see them all. I would get the guys in the building, yep. And you see that guy's going to die quite fast. So put the Orc team in there, Okrana, and he's got pseudo vision and he's got quite high HP. And there you go.
Okay.
And I would also I'd buy some more infantry for over there. Like you've got some infantry and transports over there.
Oh, that's helicopter. Oof.
That's all right. I mean, you've got the points, so that's going to be a nice kill. You got two guys. You see the CV now. You could buy the Grad, depending on how you're feeling, and you could grad the corner when you get the points. You could also move up that tank on the left, and you could send it to like near the lake, and then it can shoot across.
Oh, like what? Like here?
Yeah, or even like a bit further around the lake. So over there, you've got loads of infantry in the transports. You need to unload them, and they're all going to die. Just press U for immediate unload, basically, and yeah, just get them all in the buildings. You can just attack position them through the town. A lot of the game is just like basically the more you play, the better you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things will become more natural to you. Because right now you've got to think about every single action, whereas people who have played more, they don't have to think so much. They just sort of do it, and a lot of it's automatic. So yeah, you could attack move those guys through the town, get that CV up there behind the building. Yeah, that's good. And yeah, he sent another Humvee tow round, so you could get one of those RPG-22 teams to like a building on the right. Oh man, this ain't going well. He was doing all right, but it's just
They're just getting smoked every time they get out, though. Like so I have like 2 people here against his 1, and they just die. That's what I guess I just don't.
So some of it is the tanks helping out. Like you could send the LGB in to kill one of those tanks. And some of it is the fact that you're playing packed. His units have more machine guns, which means that they, in general, which means that they just do more damage. So you could unload all those guys and just send them in. And I would use the LGB on those tanks. Because yeah, generally it's basically he's in the buildings, you have to move to get into the buildings, and while that's happening, you're taking lots of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this it's just a micro
it's
thing.
A little tough on this side.
Yeah, it's attacking is the hardest thing in the game. But no, a lot of it's my fault in that we didn't.
There, so this actually might be a good bomb.
Yep, so you can just evac that now. And if he shouts something, you killed something.
It looked like a big explosion, so...
I see exploded tank.
Yeah,
I think you got both of them.
Dead.
Nice, good shot. Over there, I would unload all those helicopters, and then... So you just press U. And then I would click Q and just click on the corner of that zone. And just send all the helicopters in, and you should be able to... So I don't think he's got much AA there. But yeah, attacking's a lot harder than defending in this game. So the forward deployment...
So far I'm doing, like, I feel, even though I'm, like, losing by 1, it feels a lot better than, like, I understand what's happening, which is...
Yeah,
good.
Sorry for just the spew of constant commands, but I'm essentially just saying what I would do in this situation.
No, this is very, very helpful.
Fair enough, thank you. So, yeah, attacking is harder than defending. So we need to, yeah, like you can try and sort that guy out with the jet. And you've got some units still in the transports back there that you could also use in this big attack.
Pushed out his dude.
You did it. Good job. I would evac that. You're not going to beat the Eagle. He's coming back around for you. You would need to land that to be resupplied. And you could also move the Strela up. Like, you could literally just put it in the town. You've got one of his jets with the Stingers, so that's good.
Yeah.
And basically, once you take a town, you want to be on the outskirts of the town. And you want that Conkers in the church. And basically, you just sit on it. Which is what he's doing to you on the other side. So yeah, that grad, you can try and get his arty, actually. That's probably a good idea, yeah. And then what you want to do is hold Shift F and then fast move it somewhere. So like now it's selected, hold Shift, press F, and there you go. So it will shoot and then it will move. And then you put the supply to where it moves to. And that's going to keep your guys alive, because otherwise they get counter-batteried. So it's just like a habit to build up, that you always want it to shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. Because it will just keep you alive.
Yeah.
So a big problem you've got is that he's yeah, that went all right. You might make it. I mean, you're gonna fly over a Stinger.
Gonna be clutch.
You're gonna fly over a Stinger. Ah, damn! You went down. So you got loads of infantry on the right. You could send those in. And yeah, you just want them in the buildings, basically. The other problem you've got is, do you see the small forest to the right of the zone? He's just put ATGMs in there, and they're killing all your guys as they come in. So that tank CV, once you clear out the zone, yeah, recon helo, that's a good idea. You could also buy some more of those tank CVs and put them in the forests around there. Sorry, not the CV ones, the ATGM ones. You've actually got some
right here.
Yeah, so you could move those up a bit, and then they could help with the tank CV. Sorry, with the recon helo there. So when your units get engaged, you want to immediately put them in a building. I would use the LGB on that guy and put your guys in buildings, but not in that building. So he's doing the same thing to you, but his bombers aren't as effective as your bombers, basically.
Okay, it looks like he overshot a little bit, actually.
Yeah, so just evac that. You did get hit, but I think you'll survive. That guy's now dead, so you can just keep moving your guys up. And you see that corner that you've sort of obtained there? That's where you want to put the tank CV. So you want to, like, I would shift-click it quite far to the left, and then get it in. Otherwise, that toe on the right is going to kill you. Yeah, that's perfect. So, just looking at the left for a second, all those units that are at the back near the transports, you could...
Can these guys kill this thing?
They can, but his jets will come and kill them. So I don't recommend it. What you can do is send those all back to a supply, and I mean,
I don't think he's paying attention.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's paying attention. He just had a sortie too.
So you could right-click that and then shift-Q them back, and it would just then you can go look at something else. But right, yeah, you got him.
One for that. So yeah.
And yeah, you just need more infantry in this town. More infantry in this town. I'm just going to keep saying it. Something you could do with that is just put it on counter battery. But yeah, just remember to move it. So like shift F, or that. Yeah. So your tank. Oh man, it got Apache'd. So we need some more AA on the right. We've lost our jets
AA
now.
here is just like, what if I just play for this or something? Like,
you could. So yeah, you could try moving up a bit there. What we want to do, right? You've got 1,200 points. Yeah. So I need you to buy some AA for the left, and then buy loads of wheeled left. So buy the Strela 10Ms, and right, just buy like 2 of them, and then switch to there's fine. Switch to the infantry tab, and you want to buy the last helicopter, buy the SPG-9, buy all the SPG-9s, and then buy all the sappers. Just like all of them. Just spend all your points. Right, once that all gets there, we're going to YOLO into Paul. But you don't want to do it bit by bit. You want to do it all at once. Because if you do it bit by bit, he's going to reinforce it. It's right next to his spawn. Okay. So this is our best bet now. Also, those tanks you've got at the back, you could move those up. So just
I want to YOLO here, right?
Yeah, just press F, and then they'll fast move. You can send them all up. And then on the right, you need to still keep some stuff on the right. I would buy some Iglas over there and try and get them into those buildings to shoot the Apache. Basically, the problem you've got is that you're in the town, but he keeps sniping your CVs as they come in. So you'd want to take that left road, because the main road is covered by Humvee tow.
Yeah.
So there's a few cars there, and you could actually, instead of selling that, why don't you put the guy back in it? So just right-click that.
We can join our...
Yeah, we're going on a big attack. So yeah, just gather them all in the town. Gather everybody in the town. And then, yeah, we're getting ready for the big attack. It's going to be pretty risky. I would just put that in, one of the front buildings. That's great. And then the Stinger team I'd put in the church. If the church is still standing. It's quite commonplace for people to destroy it. I know that's a war crime, but this is Warno. And yeah, on the right, basically it's not happening on the right. So we need to defend the back zone. Do you see that back zone?
Yeah.
So you could send like a couple of the the ATGM tanks to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so or just the regular ones. Yeah, just get them like in the zone, and then yeah, like you want to land that guy. Because he will probably come for Anna, so I would put a Conkers in the building in Anna, and I would buy those bundles of sticks and put them all in Anna. Literally all of them. I would just put them, like in the trees around Anna, like where that Strela is. You could put one there, put two there even, because he will try and attack that. You want to spend your points. You got so many points, even if. Because there's a tendency to be like, what's the optimum buy? I don't want to buy something bad. But having two subpar things is better than having one super good thing, right? So you just want to flood that with units. Just buy them all, why not?
All right.
So open up your Helo tab. And you want to buy those AA Helos. And you want to send them now to Paul. Because we're going in on Paul. You just want to path... They just want to go to Paul. Yeah, so you have to drag it. You have to, like, drag it. Well, they've spawned now. So I would just click them and right-click Paul. All those units... Well, just right-click Paul. All those units there, you want to send them all to Paul on the road. So all of them...
Fast move.
So I would first press, like... Well, N. Press N, and then click on Paul. Like, literally just right on that. Yeah, they're all going. Those helicopters, you want to send those in as well. Those empty cars, you want to send those in as well. They're just buying space, buying time. Everybody's going. The helicopter, you've got to manually path the guy with the Afghansky in it. That one. Just land that at the back, behind the zone.
I need this guy. Get ready for it.
Yeah, and then so now everybody's moving. Now you would fast path that to Paul. He's trying to sneak a CV on the left. Do you see your AA Helos?
Yeah.
The ones near the back, the AA ones, you could send those to the zone. Just send them to the zone, because he's got to land there if he wants to do anything. Right, now we need to look at the big push. I would buy the LGBT. Honestly, just fast move them all in and unload at position. But you need to take losses, basically. So, and then, like, yeah. So get the LGBT up for the tank. Yeah, just get them all in there.
Taking losses.
This is the way it works in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
You should get that tank right. Unload everybody now. Everybody that's left.
The one Sappery.
Get them all in there. He's got a CV in there. You should have some more. So like, get the AA up. So right, you got him. Get the AA up. Where's the CV? Right, so the CV needs to be in there. Get the tanks in there. Get everybody in there. He's like landing in front of you. You can get in there. So just keep spending your points. Open up that Helo tab. Drop them all in there because they get there faster. Literally just on the zone. Get all the wheeled infantry. Just get all the infantry in there. This is our last chance to win the game, basically. So,
all right.
Get everybody in there. Yeah, put some conkers on the sides like you're doing. That's good. Just get used to using the unload at position command because they're going to get there and not do anything. Whereas if you use the unload at position command, they're going to get there and do stuff. Check the line of sight tool so you can get that to a safe place so it doesn't just die. And yeah, use the grad. Get the grad near where those helicopters are. Yeah, like that's perfect. Just get that guy in the forest so that he's not on the road. That Belazor there. Yeah, just get him in there. Get him not into the path of the bombs. Yikes. You want him in the forest. You see that sort of like blackened area? Yeah, and then get that Afghansky, send him further forwards, get the helicopter further forwards. Everybody in, everybody in. Open up your inf tab, just get all the infantry in there. Get everything in there. You've got a tank back there, you can send him in. This is it. This is the YOLO. This is the big brain play. It's our only chance to win the game. You're taking out his planes. The LGBT's back up. Perfect. Yeah, get your infantry to the edge of the zone. Get the tanks to the edge of the zone. Everybody forwards. Get the SPG to the edge of the zone. It's going all right. You're doing all right. I think you've got some AA back there. You really need to get that up into the zone. Yeah. If we look at the back of the map, he's got a helicopter there killing all your stuff. That he's trying to land a Black Hawk behind you. Move the grad. He's coming for your grad. Fast path it down the road. You gotta fast path it. It'll get out of there faster. This is it. This is full clown Warno here. And then, right, you've just got to believe in your boys. They'll deal with that. Like, right-click that guy. Look back at the main zone. Evac your LGBT. The Eagle's coming in. Your reinforcements are coming in.
Oh, missed it.
It's going well. You're on a +4. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Oh!
Get those AA helos up to the thing. By that, you've got a Strela near those AA helos. You could send that forwards. You also, I'm pretty sure his CV helo is still alive on the far left. I'm pretty sure he just hit it. So I would send that AA helo to sign. I would just send it to sign. No, not that one. The one at the back. That guy needs to stay there. There's one at the back that you can send to sign. I'm sorry, I'm completely overloading you right now.
It's working. It's working.
Your units are getting there. You need to unload them. Not unloaded.
I did. I thought I did. Unload.
So, right, get them all up in the zone. You're doing it. You're doing it. Right, you're beating that ATAS. He's dropped that guy in your back now. He's got an infantry unit behind you. You killed the Black Hawk, but the unit's there. Get that AA guy to kill that guy. You need to, once it's finished doing that, right, so that AA guy, did you kill that toe? I didn't see. Buy some more AA for that zone. Buy a supply for the Strela. This is hilarious. He's actually doing it. It's working. Spend those points. Spend those points, MoiDawg. How much is left? How long is left on the time? I can't see it.
6 minutes.
6 minutes to victory. You can do it if your brain doesn't melt.
My brain is starting to melt. They got Emma.
So, yeah, on the far left, you need to put...
Oh, I have a tank blob. Can we just go... We try to...
No, you just want to defend there, because I guarantee you he will have just left all his units in there. So you're already on a +4. Don't get greedy.
Oh, we got the ATAC.
Nice, nice. In the bottom left, you've got a zone, and you need to put a couple units in there. So what have you even got left?
I have nothing left.
Nice.
There's nothing left.
Oh, the Razvedka BMP2 guys, we forgot to buy those all game. So when you get some points, you can put those in. Use the LGBT on that guy. You might as well. You got 6 minutes. Just take them out. Take them all out. You could even use that AT plane on the helicopter. 5 minutes. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. My reputation is on the line.
I know.
Unload that guy. Right, that's going to be a juicy kill. You got to right-click it. You're on a move order. Right-click that house full of people.
Fire position.
It's going to be a very, very juicy kill. He's trying to smoke it. Just, that's going to be such a good kill if you get that. I guess you can't see them anymore, but you've attacked.
Doesn't matter. I'm just bombing it.
Yeah, should be good. Should be good. Get all that infantry and move it into the smoke. He's trying to storm it with the smoke. You gotta move it into the smoke. Unload it first.
Oh yeah. It's okay. We got it.
No, not the conkers. The guys at the back, the sappers.
Oh, those guys. Yeah. These
guys. Just send them all in. Send them all in. Send them all in. Don't be too scrupulous about it. That Strela, you could move that up as well. Get some of those helicopters. And yeah, in the bottom left, you could buy a Razvedka BMP2 for that zone.
Bottom left. What is that?
You know that in the bottom left of the map, where your Igler is. On the left, where the Igler is.
I don't know where it is.
On the left of your screen, there's an MI8 MPA. There's an Igler. There's a Ural truck. In like the top left corner of your screen.
Oh, I see. Right here.
Yeah,
right here.
Just put some guys in there. Razvedka BMP2s from the recon tab. No, leave them in there. Leave them in there. Yeah, just put all those guys in there. Just right in that zone. Where's he putting them? Just buy everything. Buy everything. It's a time thing. Right. He's got a lot of helicopters over there. I think he's forgotten about them, though.
So, 3 minutes to win.
Right. Do you see your AA helo at the back of the map? In your base?
Oh, I just get ATGM'd here.
You can also unload that guy in that transport.
That guy in that transport. I got a whole. Oh, this
that
guy.
Yeah.
It's just randomly in the middle of this field for some reason.
You can do it. Just keep your guys in the forests on the edge of the zone. That grad, you can grad that CV. Just grad it. You can buy the LGBT again. And you really need to put some guys in that bottom left zone.
The zone?
The sign zone. You need to put the recon.
I have some. Don't I have them?
You need more people. So the recon Razvedka BMP2. Yeah, just put both of those in that zone. Because he might send that helo from before. I'm just very conscious of that. So yeah, you get that CV with the LGBT. You're doing it, man. I believe in you. This is high level stuff.
We got this. We got this. I'm freaking out, man. I just can't let him know I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out as well.
Oh, they got the tank push.
Right, he's coming in. Send the LGBT.
The sticks.
The sticks are doing it.
The sticks are gonna do it.
Yeah, but you need everything on that. You've got an AT plane. You can send that in as well. Your LGBT doesn't have an order. It's not gonna drop. You're doing it. You're doing it. Get that CV with the LGBT.
Yeah, I'm turning around. Turn around for it. He's gonna get
Stay
stunned
on
by that,
target.
and then he's gonna get bombed.
Stay on target.
He's gonna do it.
You're doing it.
Oh!
Nice. And the AT plane's coming in for the other one.
It's
perfect. It's perfect. Right, so before, he typed in chat, mad, when he killed your CV. So if you've got the spare APM, you can reciprocate. Certainly something I would do.
I need to... I have no A... Oh, wait, I do.
Just whatever, like, go through your tabs and just whatever units you've got, put in that zone.
1v1 without coach me, buddy. All right.
Whatever you've got left, that Razvedka BMP2, you could put the Razvedka BMP2 in there. Just put it in Anna. Just everything to Anna, because that's his only way of getting back in the game.
Where's Anna?
The bottom, the right
Anna's
zone.
here.
The one that you just did the epic play. That's frozen a bit.
I don't have any points.
That's good. If you've got no points, that's an optimum strategy, because it means you've spent them all on something. I think at this stage, how long is left?
30 seconds. Oh, we got it!
You've done it. You've done it. Congratulations, MoiDawg, on your first 1v1 win, potentially.
First 1v1 win.
Played before.
Yes.
You did well. You beat the NATO Scourge. GG, well played.
Wow.
I'm proud of you.
Wow. That was crazy. Okay, so we had to, at that point, like, Emma just wasn't happening. You just gotta, hey, maybe we have a little breakthrough. Let's just YOLO push. And
that's right, yeah. So we ascertained that he just stacked Emma too much, and when you attack on a zone, you go all in all at once. There's a tendency to just like send one unit, send 2 units. That gives him the time he needs to reinforce.
Yeah, because in that push, I lost like four whole units. In that initial push.
Exactly. That's so much died in that, but you just had so much stuff. And yeah, that was a really good game. You did a really good job. I do think you were at the disadvantage. Certainly his Apaches and Eagles are very, very difficult to deal with. Very strong units. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. That was a lot. I feel like I retained some of it, and throughout the game I started to remember other things, but it's definitely hard to as everything's blowing up to just focus. Like, you have to triage. Figure out what exactly is important.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what is the main focus of my attention? Yeah, you did a really good job, and as you play more, and hopefully you will want to play more, I mean, maybe not today, but around, things will become automatic, they'll become second nature to you, and then it won't be like such a brain melt, basically.
Yeah, I know, but definitely having something, having that little vision to use a bomber that I thought was safe and then knock out, something like on the ATGMs on the flank, or kind of a tricky recon that was screwing me up, and then that's just kind of a delete button. Whereas in the past, I feel like I just grind infantry or grind a vehicle into it and lose a whole bunch. So that type of stuff was, wow.
Yeah, well played, man. So you can view the stats from the game now. So you can click on if you click on yourself.
1.02 kill rate. We got it.
You did it,
man. We're positive.
Yeah. So if you click on, you can click on yourself and view how many games you have, and you see that MoiDawg new to this game, if you click on multiplayer, it'll show you. So you've had 16 games, and I think for a guy with 16 games, you're punching above your weight, to be honest.
Oof. Well, I needed not my brain helping me figure out what was going on.
But yeah, that was good stuff, and you can check your opponent's games, like 0 rank games, yeah. And Chewy, you can click on multiplayer. He's got 11, so similar skills.
Yeah, I thought we're pretty
evenly matched.
Yeah.
And that's the way to get better. You want to play people who are about your skill level, because if you play people who've got 2,000 hours, you're gonna have a really bad time, and you're not really gonna learn anything. Whereas if you play somebody who's about your skill level, preferably slightly better, then you'll keep the motivation up, and you'll also learn a lot.
Well, I also feel like I know 1v1s and 3v3s, 5, 10, all that stuff is different, but I feel like when you get the larger games, you get kind of lost because so many people can overcompensate and stuff like that. So being able to kind of pull it all out in a 1v1 was very helpful.
Yeah, so 1v1 is by far the hardest way to play the game. As you pointed out, 10v10s and other team games, your team can kind of cover for you. You can really specialize, so you can like just not worry about artillery and somebody else will do that, or you can just do artillery and somebody else will do the frontline stuff. So 1v1 is definitely the most stressful, but I think the most rewarding part of the game, because it's all you, man. You won that by yourself, right? You did it. Nobody was moving your units, right? You did it. So
yeah, that was sick. No,
I'm proud of you, man.
Appreciate it. I think. Okay, I guess you know a thing or two about this game, is what I've learned.
Yeah, I mean, some people may call me delusional, but I go around telling everybody that I'm the world #1 Warno player. It may have been true a long time ago. I mean,
well, we went in from not really knowing much to hard mode to pay to win, but still hard mode, and then to actually losing, and then full send YOLO into a comeback win. So I think that's a pretty successful day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you can view the kill list and you can see like who's getting what.
So is there? Okay, you can actually see.
Look at that. Yeah, like that guy. He did a lot of work.
Yeah, this guy.
So
knocking out.
It's like we said, like, because when you killed that eagle, you opened up the skies until he could buy another eagle. You just basically had free reign on all his units. You were just killing one every minute with those bombers.
Yeah. So having that his big plane out of the way, and what is that like? How costly is that plane?
That is the most expensive fighter in the game, the F-15 Eagle.
Okay. Yeah, so that was so that's something he had early on, so he invested a lot in it.
Yeah.
We picked it, now we're able to take advantage of that. So yeah, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Exactly, yeah.
That was sick. Dude, that was sick. All right, it's starting. I mean, it's gonna be a learning curve, but that was wow. It all kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know how much time you have. I remember you saying that you got another appointment.
Yeah, we have a squad play session here in about an hour or so. So got to get ready for that. But is there so your post game, like, what would you do? Would you normally go through a replay? Would you look at stuff like what? So now that we've played the game,
yeah,
is there anything else as a coach you're like, let's go back and look at this or talk about this or whatever? If let's say we have max 45 minutes or so, it doesn't have to be that long. It could be a minute or two, but like 45 minutes left, coach. What are we doing?
So the first thing is to look through all the kills and see, first of all, what you got the most kills with. So your jets did well, your defensive T-62s did well.
This I didn't even really know I just kind of parked it and forgot about it.
Exactly. So that's the advantage of defending, right? You can just stay there and get kills.
Yeah.
So your bombers did well, and another thing to note. So your grad, right? So we missed this before.
Knocked out actually all their already. Yeah, almost all is already.
You got 3 howitzers with that grad. That's huge. That's a massive volley. So another thing is so basically once you get used to like shift queuing orders and stuff, with self-propelled artillery, you should never get counter batteried if you just fire move always. You should be all right most of the time. Towed artillery is different because you have to load it back into the vehicle. And from the fact that you didn't kill any vehicles there, he probably sold the vehicles, in which case your towed artillery can't move very fast, it gets counter-battery. So that's an important learning. Another thing to note is that soon you'll see, which of his units killed most of your units, and that is also extremely useful. So you see that he also had Humvee toes in the side, messing you up. That was one that he snuck around on the right.
That thing sucked.
Yeah, so we, in the panic, I ordered you to just send everybody into the town, and that included the IFVs, which typically you don't want to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these I actually lost in the on that right side, right? Because I
Yeah.
feel like there was this AT4 team that I just couldn't get out. So if you have an AT4 team, I mean, you want your infantry, the BMP should be out of view, right?
Basically, it's very, very rare now that you would send tanks or IFVs into towns.
Okay.
Just think, you're basically recreating the Battle of Grozny here. I don't know how good your Soviet history is.
Yeah, just.
But it's realistic, right? You don't want armored columns in a town.
Yeah.
So there are some cases where you can get away with it. Like we saw that he'd like massively overinvested in engineers. They don't have AT, so you just bullied a few of those.
That BMP at a couple times I think did knock out a few, or at least lowered them so that the infantry could finish them off too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then generally like
that Apache sucked early on.
The Apaches are very, very difficult to deal with. Essentially, what you end up doing is just suiciding jets into them to kill them. That's the commonplace way of doing it because your AA. So another reason why Pact is hard mode is that your AA has less range than the Hellfire missiles on that Apache.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to kill it. You see,
that's not too bad though. The Eagle only got 3.
Yeah.
Compared to the LGBT that got a bunch.
Yeah. And I believe that's the second one he bought as well.
This goes in order?
Well, it's just because I was like looking at the kills as they were coming in, and
how's this organized? Is it just random?
So that ATAS got the first kill, but then all subsequent kills it gets are not in order. So that second one might have been a completely different playing time.
Gotcha.
But
that makes sense.
There's also a chronology thing if you scroll down long enough, which will just tell you. So yeah. So you see at the start, his Apache ATAS got a few of your forward deployed cars. That's fine. To be honest, my instructions on the deployment, I did not respect the heli rush enough. So he did like a proper heli attack, and I should have anticipated that better. So we should have bought 2 jets and those AA helicopters, and that would have just stopped all that. And then you would have won the game easy mode because you would have just been defending both points the whole game. So that's on me. But we got there in the end. And the chronology is quite useful. You see the timestamps on the left. And then depending on how much time you have, I would like to check the replay.
Let's do it. So how do we do that?
So you just press exit and then load. It's at the bottom in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I got like 45 minutes max before I need to.
Yeah, that's cool. You can speed it up. So it's at the top because it's the most recent game. And you just double click it or press launch at the bottom. And you can speed it up. You cannot go backwards. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is space pause or anything? Or
there is a pause. I don't think space does it, but there is a pause. I would suggest just fast forwarding until, because it keeps the deployment as well. And we know
it was like 14 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we know how long the game was, 40, the full 40. We also know that he's going to be able to. We're going to have to wait 40 minutes. So yeah, just whack that on fastest, and once it gets to like right before it starts, just press pause, and we want to look at his deployment basically because you've seen yours.
Yeah.
So this was my fault. I should have expected the heli rush. It's
he's
just
blue actually. Okay,
he is blue. Yeah, you can have the camera wherever you want. You can also, an interesting feature is that you can view it just from his perspective or just from your perspective. So do you see where it says neutral?
Yeah.
So if you clicked him, like Chewie, I suppose, you would just see his units, and then that's useful if you're like, how did he see me?
Yeah.
Right? You can work it out. There are a couple cheesy things in the game, which I'm just not gonna mention them too much, but sometimes people can see you with what is a borderline exploit, but I don't think your friend Chewie is doing that.
Okay, so this is initial rollouts. This is all confirmed
Yeah.
stuff.
So you see that he sent very little to Oscar, and he was just going hard on your zone.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. You can expect 101st to do that sometimes. It's just it's sort of this cat and mouse thing where if you know it's coming, it's really easy to stop. So most people don't do it because they don't, they just expect to be stopped. But yeah, he gets a lot of very, very high HP units in helicopters, and they're very difficult to kill, as you saw when he got into the town. So I think your reaction to the situation was good, because like you can probably just play it now, like we see what he's gonna do, whatever speed you want. But you see that you did get there first. So if you look at Oscar, you got there way before him.
Yeah.
That's an idiosyncrasy with the map, but it's also because you have Airborne forward deployed, and he only has one unit like that, and he didn't bring that.
Yeah.
So you do start further forwards. So there's a moment here. So if you just pause it a bit. So if you look at Zulu, he doesn't actually have that much there. Zulu's the one on the right.
Yeah.
So you could have pushed up to the edge of the town there. But it's just like there were like 20 things to pay attention to. But you were winning those fights. The other problem is
just need to extend the front line, I guess.
Yeah, so like try and get to the edge of the town so that basically as long as he can funnel reinforcements into the town, it's going to be very difficult for you. But as soon as
actually dead, and then we'd actually win this.
Yeah. So as soon as and basically you always want to cut the enemy's reinforcements. So do you remember that T-62 we put on the left, and I said make sure it's looking at that road? It's sort of in the middle of your screen right now. Yeah. So that was to cut his reinforcements. And I believe that got some kills over the course of the game, but you basically won that zone. And do you see his Humvee tow on the right? So he's trying to do exactly the same thing to you. So what we could have done there is your Metis squad.
And he actually has scouts right next to it too, so it extended that range.
Yeah, it's a good idea from him. So one of your squads is a Metis squad, and you could have put that in the far right building. And then that would have been able to... or the one behind. And that would have been able to kill that.
Because it's that handheld ATGM.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got 1750 range. If you actually press C and hover over the unit with C, like right on the unit, it'll show you the range.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite a big range. You'd probably be able to hit it, or he might reverse into the trees.
Would have been okay.
Yeah. Because he's trying to cut your reinforcements. And he successfully did that, basically, and it really messed us up. Because then you couldn't reinforce and he could. Which is a problem, right?
Yeah, so even right here, we had the opportunity to secure it if we just had some better micro with the units to push up and then extend this site. I mean, because right here, I don't think I see...
So you'd have to press play and pause for like a split second. There you go.
Yeah, so I don't see, but I do know there's ATGM coming in, so I know it's coming. So I know there's something here. So at that point, you can... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, one thing, we might as well do this now. If you just press escape and go to your options, there's something called auto resale. It's about in the middle of the screen, near the first black horizontal bar. You want that on yes. So in most cases, when you spawn a unit with a truck, and then you just press apply, when you spawn a unit with a truck and you unload it, with this on, it will just sell the truck. In most cases, you want that to happen. There's a couple cases where you don't, and then if you just click on one of the trucks, you'll see in the bottom it says engagement rules, and there's like a sale sign. Yeah, so that will now be default on, and then with the ones you don't want to sell, you would switch it to off.
Okay.
So the ones you don't want to sell are...
like these ones.
No, you'd probably want to sell those. Anti-air, towed anti-air comes in trucks, and you want to move it after it shoots or it gets blown up by artillery. So you would load it back into the truck, so you want to turn off auto sell for that.
Do that same with like Conqueror's teams?
Yes, you could keep the truck. Yeah, sometimes it's worth keeping the truck, and sometimes it's not. I prefer having auto sell on because usually it's not worth keeping the truck. And if you look at how many trucks are on the screen right now, there's like 8, maybe?
Yeah, it like inflates my idea of how strong I am.
Yeah.
I quickly see the squares.
2,
In reality,
3, 4,
I have
5,
just a hand,
6,
and these are all
7.
just not even really infantry. It's mainly just scouts.
Yeah, so I think I count 7 trucks there, and basically each one is 20 points. So you could have had an extra 140 points. So it's I prefer auto sell on.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you can keep watching. And
Also,
then
not having like any AA on this side really screwed me for the longest time.
yeah, I
They kept
should
coming
have.
in. I mean, they like multiple times. Because even we actually did push up. We pushed up through the town and pushed them back, but then they just came in with helicopters over and over again.
Yeah,
Kind of had nothing.
yeah. So I should have asked you to buy those igloos a bit earlier, and maybe instead of sending all 4 of those stingers to one place, we could have sent 2 to one and 2 to the other. The
Yeah.
reason for that is it takes 2 hits to kill it. Oh, you see his Humvee toes killing all your units?
Yeah.
He got one on the
Yeah.
road there, and I think he's about to get another one. And that has good stealth, so it's very hard to see. And that was basically a problem until he ran out of missiles, I think. He got a lot of
Yeah,
kills
then he
out of
just
that
ran
guy.
out of missiles.
Yeah. So you did a decent job keeping off the helicopters with the planes, but yeah, eventually, like you would expect a more skilled opponent to buy 3 stingers there instead of 1, but he was using the eagle instead, which sort of does the same thing. In Oscar, we've got a bit of a problem where we took the zone, but your guys were like not in the whole zone.
Yo. Well, they also got like zoned out by the Aero Scouts, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's because
but
we
I
have
mean, like,
control of it, but I need to be out in the corner so they can't
yeah,
just sneak back
exactly, yeah. So he kept getting
Okay.
back in, and you had like some Orcanas in the corner, which could have been sent
Yeah.
up there. So that Aero Scouts, he got a CV with that. So that was my bad. I should have told you to path the CV a different way because there's like a safer way, but I just didn't know it. And then yeah, so
Yeah, honestly, looking at this now, we actually had a lot more units most of the time, but that Cobra and a couple other helicopters were just keeping me locked down here. Whereas if we had a little bit of AA, I don't think he would have been able to reinforce so easily.
yeah. So yeah, there are some igloos back there, and we just forgot about them for a couple minutes.
Yeah, definitely you did. You should have told me to unload them and move them up. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, this
that was
is
your
why I'm
fault.
free. This is why you're not paying. You get the budget coach. So yeah, eventually, basically, what he did is he just outspammed us.
Yeah.
So he just outspammed us in that zone. Like we had it for a bit. It was going well, but he just kept buying, and that's a really big part of the game.
In.
Yeah, getting
These
once
tanks
he
were sneaky.
exactly. Once the Abrams get around the side, they cut your reinforcements, and you've had it basically.
Yeah, but we're good. I mean, so this is it's how we thought it was on the left side. So
Yeah, it's just that he constantly kept getting guys back in, so we needed to push into that corner. I didn't realize how many guys he had there actually. So
Green Berets and stuff.
yeah, this is why the watching the replay can be really, really useful. Because
at this point, it could have also maybe pushed up, get some Viz and
exactly, yeah,
some recon here.
and also the the Orcanas, we could have put that in the church. We weren't actually in the church because we put a Stinger team in there, and because it's only got 4 HP, it died straight away. Whereas if you put the Orcana in, he can see, and he's got a bit more HP. But yeah, basically we just then arrived at a situation where he had just got around the sides of that zone, and then we couldn't really get back in. Yo, you got double killed there.
Yeah, the double kill there. So it was a
Nice.
double.
So that was good. Then buying those helicopters ended up working out. And yeah, it's just another thing. If you've got artillery, you want it like constantly firing. Takes some getting used to, but you did nuke all his artillery at some point. So that, I think it's now.
Yeah, I think right here. Yeah, so they got smoked.
So that was perfect. That was a good play,
Removed
getting
it.
all that arty. And yeah, just getting into the habit of shift Q Shift Q every time. So
Dude, they had so much back here.
yeah, he was just like full on in that zone. Um, and it just gets harder and harder to get in, particularly when he's cutting your reinforcements, so you have to take a dodgy route. At this
I
point,
feel
we
like I
lost.
definitely should have had something over here because if he had noticed there was nothing here, that would have been like an easy
Exactly,
flank.
yeah. Well, you've got those two tanks in spawn near the grad. I see they're sort of for that, I guess. But then we switch it up and we go for the Hail Mary
Yeah,
because part of it as well, as you play the game more, you'll realize, wait a minute, he's got loads of guys over here. He's probably
yeah,
not got loads of
exactly.
guys anywhere else. So we took some heavy losses, like you see on the right. It's all red. That means it's all our units.
Yeah.
And then we just switched it up, and you did a good job in the attack. Like all the units hit at once, which is what it's all about.
It's actually funny because this is his place, technically, right? Oscar
Yes,
is
Oscar's
his, and
his zone,
we
and this
actually
is also
flipped it a
his
little bit.
zone. Yeah. So you went in hard and fast. You got it done. Took some losses. You used the air to kill the Abrams. So that's like part of the attack. That yeah, you get your air ready as well. You got in there. You got the CV in. You kept reinforcing it with fast stuff. So if you had bought, for example, loads of tanks to put in this zone, as opposed to wheeled infantry, they would take like twice as long to get there.
Yeah.
So you're reinforcing with the right things. You've got a decent unit composition. You've got some AA, you've got some infantry, you've got some tanks. The LGBs are doing excellent work, just constantly killing his tanks as he tries to get them in there. You're using the grad. I believe you're about to grad this Abrams, and it was really clean. Like I'm not trying to big you up, but like most people can't do an attack like that. What tends to happen is people will send one unit forwards,
Hmm.
and they'll be like, "Oh, now I'll send another one," and by the
Yeah.
time, and then the enemy just reinforces it because it's right next to his spawn. So you
Well,
did the
also
right
being
thing.
able to like, because these guys are stuck in the back, and then I think it takes a minute for me to get them up here. But like, yeah, there it goes. Now they start pushing through, and yeah,
Yeah, but you've got enough there, and the thing I want to impress upon you is that when you attack, do it all at once. Because yeah, if you do it in dribs and drabs, he's gonna know you're coming.
yeah. And there's enough just firepower where I think we're about to bomb this or maybe grad it, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. There's the grad on that. I think it ran
yeah.
out of ammo or something. Um. Oh yeah, he also had like a guy in your spawn, so I think that's where like the grad got hit by Totu or something. You might have killed that by now.
Okay.
Um. It was a good game. It had the highs and the lows. You know, it was looking pretty rough in the middle.
It was looking pretty rough, but I mean, yeah, looking at the replay at the end, I see why it was rough, and he had like layers of those helicopters that was just very hard to break through.
Exactly. Yeah. Um. So yeah, good game, man. I think you did. I think that was good. I think that was a very positive for me, at least. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, that was way more positive, and also because at times because there's so much going on, I don't really know what units I have that are about to run into the units that they have, and then also because I noticed, I think in that replay, I also noticed he had a boatload of units. He probably could have done the same thing I did the moment he saw the whole YOLO, but I think he was so obsessed over trying to figure out and solve the problem on the left that he forgot about the right
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
because they all just stayed there. So seeing that kind of stuff, it's just talking through all the stages, the circle of grief and acceptance that we're going to lose to what if we just do this? That
It was a good game. Um,
was awesome.
so I know you've got to go play squad now, but if you're up for doing something like this again, what we could do is like between now and the next time we meet, you could play some more ranked games. I suggest sticking
Yeah.
with the same div because you can check it out. You know, you can do a bunch of rematches against your boy Chewy. He's got a similar number of games as you, so that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you could send me some of the replays where you're like, I really don't know what happened here. Why did I lose? What could I have done differently? And then next time we meet, we can go through those replays, and I can sort of point out ways you can improve.
That sounds good, man. Sounds good. I appreciate the in-depth analysis. I mean, and yeah, don't worry about trying to, shorten stuff when we were going through the decks and stuff. Having that level of detail, I think, definitely helped when I was actually trying to move units and stuff. So yeah, sounds like a plan. We'll do it.
Yeah, fantastic. You've got a very mature audience. My audience on my channel are very Zoomers, so if nothing happens in 5 minutes, they just switch off. So credit to your
Hey,
audience.
these guys have been trained in the ways of squad. They know it's a
fair enough,
long
yeah.
process. Yeah.
Great, yes. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
On if you want to bring up the Twitch real quick, go shill your channel, drop some links for your YouTubes or how people can get in contact or watch or whatever. Shill your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it immensely, man.
So yeah, to your chat, my name's Hippie. I do Warno videos, a lot of Warno videos. I also organize Warno tournaments. I'm sort of infamous in the community. I've been deleted by a moderator. The link got deleted.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna let the mods allow your allow you to post stuff. There you go. Okay, Piggy's reposting.
Yeah, cheers. So we organize tournaments. We've got Discords relevant to the game. So right now I'm casting a bunch of tournament games. I do a lot of ranked 1v1. It's worth checking out. I also do some Warno meme vids. It's all about Warno, basically. I play a lot of Warno, do a lot of Warnoing. And if you don't mind, I'd like to upload this as a video.
Yeah, 100%. I might cut up this too and do it on my own and put your links as well. And I appreciate it immensely, man. It's very, very helpful to have this level of insight. And feel free to post.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I'll see you around. Best of luck with the squad. I'm really bad at that game. Maybe you could coach me sometime.
It's all patience. That's all it is.
That's exactly what I don't have.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Again, thank you for spending the time and sharing your knowledge. And we'll definitely link back up for some future Warno streams in the nearest future as I get better at the pay-to-win division here.
Yeah, fantastic. Best of luck, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Right, I think that went really well. I was really worried for a bit. Who knows what he's saying now?
All right, guys, how was that? Was that fun?
Asking.
That fun.
I just want to know if people think it was good.
That was a lot of knowledge.
That
was really cool.
I really overburdened him, I think.
Actually understand stuff. I hope you guys appreciated the pre-game where we broke down the fact that Hippie was able to break down every single unit and go into that detail was immensely helpful for me. That was very, very helpful. It's like playing with Schnoo without the name calling and screaming, right? Right? It was fun to watch Live Your Squad 44 streams, and watch a lot of Hippie Warno streams. It was great. Hey, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Good game, well played.
Might as well use that.
Appreciate it.
Because yeah, I've got that going. So that went really well. And yeah, so...
Alright, getting you the...
So he's probably going to go into squad stuff now. That went really well. I thought it'd be an unmitigated disaster. When he was like, bro, I want to play Pact. The whole strategy was about trying to get... oh, I got people saying nice things about me. The whole strategy, man, was about trying to get him to play 82nd Airborne. Because it's easy mode. You just get there first. You got everything in the game that you could possibly want. Apart from tanks, you don't need them. Get there first, sit there. And then he was like, I want to play the hard div. And it's like, man. But we made it work. He was thankfully, he was willing to buy the strongest pack division. And we made it work. And it was also good that he had a friend who had a really similar number of games as him. That's really good, because I was worried that we'd have to go ranked. And if you go ranked, one of these 200 people or whatever are just going to obliterate him because they want to be on TV. Like Star Trek's going to show up, or, you know, somebody like that. And they're just going to be like, haha, I beat the streamer, and he's not going to learn anything. So it's really good that he had somebody about his level. And he won the game. Like, that was a really good game as well. He was winning at the start, then he got pushed out, then he did a maneuver, and we got him back in, and then he won the game. There were highs, there were lows. It was perfect. Everything went well. I mean, I hope he keeps playing. I hope he keeps playing and he gets better. I mean, you've probably heard, check out MoiDawg. He plays a lot of squad, and he's moving into Warno now. Like you see, if you go on your Twitch,
But it's gonna.
if we go on the Twitch, it's really nice of him to shout me out as well. I didn't really expect that. I was like, how do I get that in? I think I might have put that in there somewhere, like in the plan. How do I shill my channel? But he was very nice about it. You see, he plays a lot of like squad, like a lot of squad, and then he plays like DCS World squad, stuff like that. But man, I was so worried when he said, I don't want to play NATO. I was like, no, you're gonna lose. The 56Y versus 101st matchup, I do prefer 56Y, simply because if you use those stingers properly. And then I really messed up. I really messed up on the deployment. Because a voice in my head was like, what if he just heli rushes, we're dead. Because I was expecting him to heli rush the left zone. So that's why I put all the stingers in the left zone. But he heli rushed the right zone. Which makes sense, because that's our zone, and he wants to rush it, right? So I should have just told him to put 2 stingers left, 2 stingers right. That would have solved that problem. And maybe instead of opening with the ARC guys, you open them up with the helicopters, the AA helos. That would have solved a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So I messed him up on the deployment. But I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. I wanted to do something like this for a long time, and I saw him posting in the Eugen Discord, can anybody coach me? I was like, yeah, bro, get that. He's got like 500,000 subscribers or something. Like, look at that, 51k on Twitch, and he's also on YouTube. So yeah, check out MoiDawg if you haven't heard of him already. Yeah, so okay, 250,000 subscribers. I've got 7k, bro. Right? This is big. Oh man, I'm leaking the DMs. I just need to get in Warno mode. I don't want to leak the DMs. But I think that all went well. I think that all went well. I'm really, really, really happy about that. Especially, like, I thought it was going to be a disaster. When he said, bro, I don't want to play NATO, I was like, no, come on, man, don't do this to yourself. Entire strat was based around getting him to play 80 seconds. Oh, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. But hey, it's been 2.5 hours. Please leave a comment. Please like the video. If you want to see more, let me know. I'm going to try and get him to play some ranked games. Show me the replays. This could be really good series. Like teaching somebody, and he's got a really good personality as well. Like he wasn't getting mad, and he was letting me talk a lot. That's something. It's quite rare to see that in streamers because. I mean, I always talk over everybody because he has to entertain his fans, but he was quite happy to just let me talk constantly, even though it's his channel. So it's a good pair up. Really, really decent guy. I mean, I think things are going well. I think I've said it enough. Have a nice day.